Alrighty. And I'm proposing, we can record from now. I'm proposing we switch from calling people hard yarners to hype crew. This is Hard Yarn Podcast.
Hello, hype crew.
What's going on, hype crew? Do you like hard yarners? There's something about the word yarners that doesn't sit right with me.
Hello, hard yarners. Hello.
What's going on, hype crew?
Okay, yarners, message us.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to be called hype crew?
Or have you got a better...
Hard Yarns Podcast Entertainment?
Yeah. Have you got a better name?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
message us with what you'd like to be called.
Hard-ons?
The hard-ons. Hello, hard-ons. But hello, hard-ons. Today we are joined by Garbage Human. Before we get to what we spoke about, we've
subtly dropped in some plugs throughout the show.
That's 100% true, so we won't go too much into them, but we'll give them a quick little shout out. So this episode is brought to you by
alltradescover.com.au, who came to my show last night. John came and watched Date Night Comedy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he stayed a little bit for Sesh Stories. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And he said that he has got busintro from this.
Wow.
So,
it's almost like we're doing our job. It's
Yeah.
good. Very
He's
good.
very happy with the service. But if you want to be happy with the service of alltradescover.com.au, just hit him up online. If you're a small individual sole trader, the little guy will look after you.
100%. This episode's also brought to you by Vibe Culture. Vibe Culture, they get a shout out during the episode as well. But Delby's probably going to need it. When did you say? Tomorrow or the next day?
Yeah, Saturday morning. So I'm going to... Purely for scientific research, I'm going to absolutely write myself off tomorrow. I haven't had a drink for 15 days. So I'm going to see if the Vibe Culture hangover cure works, the tropical punch.
Oh, can you film it and put it as a reel?
Yeah, for sure. I'll film the state that I'm in and then how I feel next. But what if I don't feel
Here's
better?
me after my first Vibe Culture. Here's me after my last.
And finally, I'll be going to be teeing off tomorrow, but not on the golf course. But if you are teeing off on the golf course, we are sponsored by Kahuna, who have awesome apparel. Is it called apparel?
Apparel. Attire? Golf attire.
Yeah.
Kahuna Golf.
One of our Patreons. I was going to suggest, if you're a top level Patreon, and you want a Kahuna hat, let us know.
Yeah, we got heaps.
Yeah. So if you're a top level Patreon and you want one of Kahuna's hats, I've already dropped one off to Fish.
Beautiful.
Jerry Vlad.
I'll give you one as well. Garbage Human. We'll give you a lovely Kahuna hat. But
it'll just be classy human after putting the Kahuna hat on.
It's bloody good attire, and we have a discount code for you, Hard Yarns 15. If you want to get your discount, head to the website. All the links are in our bio and in the show notes.
On our Instagram bio, which is still online, unlike our next guest.
Been cancelled. Garbage Human, welcome to the Hard Yarns Podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to where all the magic happens, boys. It's beautiful to be in the lovely city of Perth in the great state of Western Australia. I sound like Trump then.
Speaking of which, what did we cover in the episode? We did speak a little bit about Trump.
Yeah.
Quite a little bit about Trump, the general woke status of the world, pretty much. Yeah.
Electoral college.
Yeah, the voting system that they have in the US, the upcoming election, how, demographics, etc. So, yeah.
And if you've never seen Garbage Human's page, you
won't
never
see it again.
It's been taken down on Instagram.
Not on Instagram anymore.
But you can catch it on Twitter, and you'll get the shout out for that at the end of the episode. But we question a lot. Basically, we are the Q part of LGBTQ.
This is the first episode I've genuinely, I jest when we get Corey on. This is the first episode I've genuinely gone, we could get cancelled.
Fuck yeah, so let's enjoy it, eh? Let's get hard, you hard-ons.
Let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Fuck yeah. And we're on. How good. You are actually looking really, really tanned.
Yeah.
You are, in person as well. This is not an optical illusion.
Yeah. Oh, Bali.
And Bali, baby.
When I run, minimal effective dose. Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
Minimal effective dose.
Yep.
Is like if you go for a run.
No sun cream.
Yeah, he goes,
Good man.
if you burn after 15 minutes, then everything after that, is pointless.
Yep.
But if the minimal effective dose is 15 minutes, then you just do 15 minutes of tanning. So for me, my ADHD, I can't lie there and tan. I go for a run.
Yeah, perfect. That's good. That's good.
I run one way with the sun on my right, and then one way back with the sun on my left.
Yeah, you're
So
no.
I'm like a human chicken.
The only thing is you do it like middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I can't do that.
Because I'm
And
fucking hard, baby.
and that's not good for you.
Why?
Because that's when the rays can be damaging. If you go like probably, especially in Australia, but I'd say before 9:30.
I can be damaging
If
to
you
the
went
sun.
9:30, half an hour every day,
9:30 a.m.
you'd be like a crispy little treat.
I don't know. I mean, I'm more of a midday when my energy levels drop.
Anyway, we were aside from our beautiful tans.
Yeah.
we are joined.
Well, I was talking about skin color and complexions.
We're joined by Garbage Human. I don't know if people have seen the face behind the memes.
Yeah.
One or two maybe.
Yeah.
One or two maybe have seen it.
For those that are online listening, he is an African American man.
Yeah, you'd be surprised to
He's
know.
an African American trans.
No one's ever complimented me on my tan. You'd be surprised.
And quite serendipitously, you've been banned yesterday off Instagram again.
Perfect timing, boys. Perfect timing, and that can only mean one thing. Is how they say one thing leads to another. Then I can just become the third permanent member of your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to generate quite a lot of hate then. I think it does interest me that I don't know what you got banned for this time, but
Join the club.
Yeah.
Before we get into like some of the things you have been banned for, like what was the beginning of starting Garbage Human? Because it's viral, people love it, they share it, and
Do they?
Yeah,
People love it and people hate it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And
Yeah.
I dare say anyone who listens to the podcast has shared one of your memes at least once.
Yeah, well, it's viral up until the point someone pushes a button and just gets rid of it all. So it's vulnerable at the same time. How I started, well, it was completely by accident. I didn't intend, or I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to make an account and have 100,000 followers, 150,000 at its peak before the main account got torched. I basically started a Twitter account. That was the original place where I started it.
Yeah.
Instagram was actually the last stop, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I've been banned from everywhere else periodically. And so this was back in around about the time that Trump announced his candidacy in 2016. So a bit before that, and I just wanted to. No one in my family is very political, so I just wanted an outlet. I kind of sort of started watching things and not really believing everything that I was being told necessarily.
Because he used the frog. What's the name of that frog? The French
Pepe the frog. It was
Yeah.
kind of a bastardized version of it in a
Yes.
trash can. It's not the original Pepe the frog, which was a viral meme back in.
Oh, is that what it was? I
2016,
thought it was
yeah.
Oscar the Grouch.
So no,
well, it's a bit of both. Like it's Pepe.
it was like just as a diversion, the Pepe was a harmless cartoon. No, it was a harmless cartoon that didn't have any significant meaning. It was kind of co-opted by this alt-right,
Yes.
and so
QAnon.
back then the equivalent of,
Yes.
ever since then it became a hate symbol basically. So
So he uses it as his logo.
A hate symbol as in like just you hate things.
Yeah,
in
well, you
general.
hate certain kind of things or
Yeah.
certain kind of, you're of a certain political persuasion.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So Kermit the Frog is a fucking is a racist.
Give it a few
Alt-right.
years. Give it a few years. So I originally made an account and just started replying. Obviously, when you make an account on anything, you start with 0 followers, which is what I had. And I just started replying to prominent accounts and their posts and their tweets. And a couple of them got traction. And then all of a
Like
sudden...
replying like shit that they would post that
They
was
would
too
post
woke or like
no, just like general stuff, and I'd maybe throw in a funny comment or post something related to that was kind of emphasise the point or something
On
like
Twitter,
that.
hey.
On Twitter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Generally with sarcasm is a pretty good way of communicating that stuff.
Yeah. A lot of the times, and it is, and so it got a bit of traction. And the original poster, who I can't even remember who it was that sort of set it off, retweeted one of my replies, and then it just got hundreds and
Wow.
1,000, and then it kind of snowballed. Like I gained a few dozen followers, and this all took a fair bit of time. Like we're talking a couple of years to begin with.
Yeah.
And then I wish I could remember what it was. I replied something, and Joe Rogan found it, and he retweeted
wow.
it, and then it was, I'm in trouble now. It's
Our Lord and Saviour. Our Lord and Saviour, Joe
We have
Rogan.
something very in common because my first ever tweet was retweeted by Joe Rogan.
That's a fair
Is
crack.
that right?
First ever tweet. Like all I did was I audio recorded some of a clip of his podcast that really resonated with me about getting stuck within your job, and put some video to it, which was like some slow motion building or something like that, and put it up, and he retweeted it, and I got a whole 50 followers from
50,
it.
well, I can't remember what it was, whether it was a meme or something like that. And then, he did it. He started following me, so he did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he
That's great.
a couple of times, and 3 or 4 months later, I've got 40,000 followers. And I thought,
Does he still follow? on
he
Twitter?
followed, no, not on Twitter. He followed one of my old accounts. I'm not even sure if he follows this account.
Yeah.
That
So
I've got on
old Twitter would have been pretty strict on you.
Yeah, very much so. Well, I kept getting banned. I kept coming back, and the same
I ain't
big
fucking
accounts.
leaving.
Yeah. The more I got banned, the more stubborn I became. But then after a while, I just gave up and started on Instagram. And by then, I'd sort of got a few contacts, and I sort of reached out and say, "Hey, I'm on Instagram," and they kind of promoted me. Like it's very hard to do on your own. To start and just say, build. It's very slow. So I got a lot of help, admittedly. So
The Wolf of Wall tweet.
and so got it up to 150k followers on Instagram, and this was at the end of last year, November, and then gone. That's
So
it.
for people that don't know what you started posting and what it got famous for, it's just pointing out hypocrisy of gender politics, racial politics.
And all the things we hate, all the
Yeah.
things we wish didn't exist. I doing it in such a way as to, like, I don't add my own commentary. Very rarely. I might throw in a line or two here or there, but I don't go into paragraphs full of my opinion on things, because it's implicit in what I post. So, and it almost diminishes from the message if you go into stating the bleeding obvious, isn't it? So
That's generally what it is. A lot of the time, truths
Yeah.
can be considered hateful, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like the other day. My daughter's running around, for example, with she put a teddy bear under a t-shirt, and she's like, "I have a big fat belly." And one of the ladies was like, "Oh, you can't say that. That's rude." And I was like, "But
that's what it is.
But that's a truth. Like, why is saying something that's trivial?"
Why can we say Santa has a big fat belly?
Exactly.
And we can't say
So
you're a fucking fat cunt.
And maybe that's not the greatest example, but it is an example of, like, she's just saying something that's true. I have a big fat belly. That's not hateful. That's not nothing. She's like, what is saying that
And
hateful?
How old is she? She's probably like 4 or 5
She's
years.
6, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And you're policing the language of a bloody, barely out of toddler stage. And so
Well, half the time, like, I'd say 80% of the time, I get what what you're posting or what the message is trying to imply. But 20%, I'm like having to fucking read the caption and go, what's going on in this one?
Well, sometimes
and it
I
might
think-
be something like where the person, like, I'm like, oh, why is there just a white dude here? And you look at the thing and like, oh, this is the guy that killed a black guy, or this is the black dude that killed a white person, and nothing was spoken of. Because you sort of need to be up to date with some of the things and know who the people are. Otherwise, I'm just looking at it going, this is racist.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to
100%.
Branch, I was like,
that's-
how do we know that our Russian friend over here is
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
well, everything requires context, and you
Yeah.
know you can deliver context blatantly, or you can deliver it subtly.
Yeah.
And so on the surface, things can appear to be racist, but then when you actually, show the context of it, then it becomes it's not racist anymore. It's just a fact.
It's interesting because people are like scared to share the fact that George Floyd didn't die of being choked. He died of fentanyl.
George Floyd
and his,
died of a fentanyl overdose that was large enough to kill 5 adults.
Yeah.
So that was the toxicology.
Well, he
report.
was as big as 5 adults.
Yeah, he was as big as
yeah.
So, but also like having a knee on your chest isn't going to help.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Of course, like the whole situation isn't great, but like the fact that it was pushed and used as this martyr of like, and we see
Motherfucker.
but we, the irony in it is interesting because if it was like the next day a white guy gets the same sort of treatment, it's not martyred. And I know that's going down the idea of like, well, oppressed versus unoppressed. Is that the word? Unoppressed?
Yeah.
Free.
Oppressed versus free. But
if it wasn't George Floyd, if there was, well, they were looking for a martyr. And when I say they, I'm saying the woke left, not the black community, whatever.
Yeah.
I got to be careful when I say they. Because like it's such a Trump thing. Oh, they want to cancel. It's like who is they?
Yeah, you're getting really good at going. No, this is who I mean.
Yeah, because like even on the Australia Day thing, somebody commented.
Yes, I
it
seen
was
you.
very poignant, and I think it was an Aboriginal bloke, and he just wrote, "Who are they?" Question mark. It was like, oh, they want to change the date, and I realized I wasn't speaking about Aboriginal want to change the date. I was talking about like left woke. Companies like Woolies, and they all want to change it, or they want us to be seen to doing the right thing. So
it is hard because if you, especially we clip up clips that generally might not have the 4 minutes of conversation prior with context, because if we left that 4 minutes in, it would go nowhere and we wouldn't be able to get the message out that we were talking about. So it is about like, let's find that minute and a half to 2 minutes of like, this is what we want to get out, but you might lose context and then it could come across as racist or as misogynistic or
well, I was going to say, when I say they, like the woke left, but also the woke left would be using Black Lives Matter as a vehicle to prove that, to drive their point.
Yeah.
If it wasn't George Floyd, it would just be whichever the next incident it was.
George Floyd is just the one in a long line of previous, like Trayvon Martin,
Now,
Trayvon
Martin was a kid that was just jogging that got shot?
Well...
Was it, or what?
Depends who you believe. So Trayvon Martin, I forget the guy that was acquitted. Was it George Zimmerman? I might be getting confused. The cop, anyway. The cop felt threatened. He was acquitted, whoever it was. And, but it just... if George Floyd just happened to be at that place at that time, you know, and if you wait another couple of months, it'd be someone else. And but the instances are so rare, but then they just get magnified, and just the lack of balance. Where if you're a white dude in the US, you've got heaps more chance of being shot and killed by a cop than you are.
Is that because there's heaps more white people?
Well, no, per capita. I'm talking per capita. Every statistic that I put out there, whether it's gun violence or anything like that, it's another thing. Gun violence. Oh, why does America have such large gun violence as opposed to a country like Switzerland, who's got very high gun ownership as well? Well, what ingredient does America have that Switzerland doesn't? I mean, get a little bit more granular, and you might, instead of accepting a narrative, there's a story behind it, or
because like the gun thing it's a real interesting discussion, that one. I know you're very for like at least gun. Not control, but gun, like having background checks and stuff, which I think that's pretty.
But I'm pretty sure
sensible.
that they're in most states they demand background checks for I'm pretty sure. Like, I'd be surprised if you just walk in to a place and not provide any kind of information that you can just I could stand to be corrected, but
But that's that is something that is disregarded. Is like mental health and drug addiction, prescription drug addiction, the antidepressants, antipsychotics that people are on, the fentanyl, like the oxycodone, like all of these things that are contributing to a much larger problem. Instead of saying, and I'm not saying guns aren't an issue, but like instead of saying guns are the problem, you got to go, the people holding the guns are the problem, and then what is creating these people?
Well, if you strip it right back, you'd be staggered to know that like the core problem, if you look at like the mass shooters, no matter what colour they are, predominantly, overwhelmingly, they come from single mother homes.
Yeah.
So there's no father figure in their life, and that's especially true with black gang violence. there's no father figure, and there 3 out of 4 black kids today are born out of wedlock without a father in the US. So of course they're going to deviate towards the gang culture where they're accepted and they've got other potential father figures to fill that vacuum. So
the percentages are pretty damning for single mother homes. Is that right? And that's not to say anything bad against the single mothers.
No.
It's more that there does need to be a balance of both father and mother
100%.
figures in
What's
the house.
the figures on white single parent homes?
20%. So it's 3.5 to 4 times more prevalent in and this is, if you go back to the 60s, the white single motherhood was 5%. Now it's 20 to 25%.
Yeah.
The black single motherhood was, I think, about 15, and now it's gone to 75. So, and this is all in the time where the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides.
Yeah.
Socially, it's gone the opposite way.
What do you think? Have you looked into it a lot, or what do you think is the main push or the main reasoning behind that?
Culture-wise, like there's all these kind of pervasive, degenerate type influences that I don't know whether the black community is particularly susceptible or vulnerable to that sort of thing.
Do you think that's by design?
It does feel sinister, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've often thought that. Like, there's no way to actually categorically say yes, it is, or no, it isn't. But
things like, and we've spoken about this on the pod, you know, Bone Thugs.
Bone Thugs. When you
Thugs.
hear what they got told when they were taken into the meeting with the record company.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, and the record company were in bed with the jails, with the prison system.
Right.
And they were actively asking them to promote anti-establishment behaviour, violence, so then the prisons
Gang
would get
culture.
more inmates.
To trying to glorify it, because the prison systems require a 90% incarceration rate for them to receive funding from the government.
So they wanted to encourage
Right.
young black Americans to commit crimes, anti-establishment mentality. And
That's
then
fucked up. If that's
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
fucked up.
'Cause it's
when he figured out what was happening, he was like, "What the fuck? You can't."
Yeah.
And then he got left the room.
Because they're privatised prisons that are owned by BlackRock. Well, everything's owned by BlackRock and Vanguard, but owned by Vanguard, BlackRock, and
Black Rock Matter.
yeah. So they own the
Larry Fink.
the high stake in the holdings there, or however they have their ownership through that, and then they also have the same with the record labels. So they just influence both sides to create a perpetual money cycle,
Yeah.
and then the people within those prisons are actually working for them as well and creating income for the government as well. So it's that's pretty scary.
America's fucked. Honestly, man.
Yeah.
Like,
America,
I
and
want to
that-
go there, and I'm just afraid if someone watches our pod clips, if you get to the border and they're like, "Nah, man," but the country's fucked, man. They don't care about their people. It's now there's the class divide, like Nima was saying in Canada. There's no middle. There's,
I think also that there's a lot of people in positions of power who genuinely hate the fucking country. You know, they're ashamed of it, and that I would rather I would rather have a government that I disagreed with politically that still had in their mind the best interests of the country in mind. Okay, because that just happens naturally in the political cycle. You know, sometimes your side wins, sometimes it doesn't. But you're not fearful of you know, the general direction of where the country is going. But I look at that. I have the same reaction. Like you look at it, that is fucked.
well, just even after being there, like I was there 10 years ago, maybe 8, and the amount of homelessness and
apparently
just,
it's huge
it's
now.
fucking just they're like, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like you're fucking patrons of your country don't even have a fucking house to live in, man. How can you be great? You don't even
100%. Have you heard that that clip from the guy from Dumb and Dumber? I can't remember his name. And he does the like why
Daniel
America
something.
Yeah, why America
Jeff
is-
Daniels?
Jeff Daniels. Why America isn't the greatest.
Oh,
Is that from
and
the
from a
House
movie.
of Cards?
That's
or something?
from a movie.
That's
Yeah.
from in the courthouse, is it?
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
Or a debate.
Debate, right? Yeah, kind of that's kind
But
of
fuck, it sums it up.
Yeah.
It fucking sums. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah,
'cause it's fucking awesome.
I actually that reminds me. I actually get really pissed off, and when people say, "Oh, Australia's the best country in the world," fuck off. No, it is not.
100%,
You
yeah.
know, it's just these glib statements that that people make that you're supposed to just accept, like, diversity is our strength. Australia's the greatest country in the world, without actually offering any evidence to back that up. Like, you're just supposed to believe it. Like, we are the greatest country in the world. So why were we locking up people why were we arresting people for having dinner with their parents 3 years ago? Why were we
100%.
barricading children's playgrounds 3 years ago? I'll tell you what the best country in the world is. Any country who didn't fucking do that for a start is a better country than us.
100%.
Texas should be its own country.
Florida.
But I mean, I love that how we look after traveling. What we have in Perth is just like, I love Perth. We've got great roads. Our taxes get spent majority of the time looking after our roads, trying the best for our hospital system. We've got Medicare, we've got private health. Like, in general, it's a good place to be.
Coming from Victoria, I would absolutely agree with totally with that, because you don't have to be there to understand what a fucking basket case is. So I renounce and denounce whatever the fucking word is, my Victorian citizenship, and I'm a fully fledged sand groper now. That's it.
We're in.
I've got that clip here.
Yeah.
If it comes through the speakers, no, it's not.
This is why we need a producer.
No, it's muted. So hold on, I'll just do this. Oh, dead.
Fucking boomer over here, eh?
We're seventh in
Here we go.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
I've seen this one.
There is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's
That's
good.
fucking right on the money.
It's a pretty. If you haven't heard that one, that's a pretty bad. Like, I know it's
Ironically,
I know
from
it's,
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and I know it's a fictional. It's a movie, but it's they're using real stats, and it fucking just points out the absurdity of suggesting that America is the greatest country in the world.
Yeah. They just say it so much that they think it is.
Yeah.
When Trump gets back in, it might be.
Yeah, wait. Look, we
Are
can.
you a
we
Trump
can
man?
hope. I am a Trump man, just
Yeah.
for no other reason. Well, there's other reasons, but for the main reason is just like he is out and out the best candidate that there is to choose from.
Yeah.
But look, I wish I had the confidence to say that he's absolutely gonna get there, because, and this is the thing that I've looked in the most. I'm an American politics junkie. I never used to be. But
go to rehab.
The path is so narrow for any Republican White House candidate as it is. Everything has to go right, like it did in 2016. Like, what's the terminology they use? He ran the table. Donald Trump has run the table and won every state. So it is just crucial that because the way that you'd know this if you're into it, Branchy, like you have to get 270 electoral college votes to get over the line,
Which is a fucked up system.
but it is a fucked up system now. But previously, back in the 80s and the 90s, it was fine. It was just the demographic shift has made it a fucked up system. That's what it is. The system itself is actually, I think it's actually a pretty good system.
Okay.
The changing demographics has meant that states like California, who were in the 80s and 90s reliably Republican, now your vote is wasted if you're a Republican in California voting in the general election. You may as well not fucking show up. You know.
But I mean, a lot of people don't show up.
Well, they don't.
So
but
if they did, maybe it would be
the demographics of California, and
so vastly.
They've gone far left.
So basically, if you add all the states together that are absolutely, even the moment the polls close on election, they call it, the news stations call it, and California has been won by 1 second after 6 p.m. or wherever they close.
Without even counting
it. Okay? That's fucked up, right? If you want to talk about fucked up, that's fucked up, right? So before a vote is counted, the Democrats, whoever the candidate is, it could be you or me or a big bag of shit with a D on it.
Oh, I think that's with a B on it.
Yeah. Whoever the candidate is gets 221 electoral college votes before a vote is even counted. So I only have to get 49 more to get into the White House. On the other hand, the Republicans, they're on about 133, the reliably Republican states. So they're behind. So
Is this for to actually become president?
to actually become
California
president.
has that much.
California
sway.
is 54 or 55 electoral college votes. So
Actually, can we step it back?
And
For
New
the
York has a
listeners,
fair amount as
New
well.
York has about 30, 29, 30.
For our
something like
listeners
that.
that don't know how the American voting system works as well as me, can you give us a refresher or dumb it down how generally, if you want to be president, how it works, and then we can pick up from there?
Each state has its own allocation of electoral college numbers. So to get to there's 538 electoral college votes spread across the states, depending on population size and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
So obviously, naturally enough, the bigger states like California, Texas, Florida, New York, Illinois, the ones that are most populated are worth the most points, right? So
It's based off population.
based
is
off
it?
population, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So because obviously, if a state like Wyoming, who have like 500,000 people in it, only 3 electoral college votes, as opposed to California, who has however 50, 60 million people, whatever it might be, has 55 electoral college votes. So you have to get to, there's 538 in total. So to get half of 538 is 269, but that's a tie, so you have to get to 270. 270
Guarantee,
get you over the line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to put it into perspective how hard it is for a Republican candidate to, as it stands at the moment, to get there, Trump in 2016 won 306 to 232. He won all the swing states. He won Pennsylvania. He won Florida, which was then a swing state. Not so much
A
now.
swing state means it could vote either way.
Either way,
they're not leaning
it's
to
a
one
coin
way.
flip.
Yeah.
Ohio, Iowa, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan,
And he just won Iowa in 32 minutes.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
in the
that's for
primaries.
his primary.
That's in the
That's
primaries.
yeah, nomination.
So, and even then, you look at a state like Texas, the trajectory of Texas, right? Trump having won all of those states, literally everything that he had to win. If you flip Texas from Trump to Hillary, guess what? She goes from 232 to 270.
Wow.
One state. So that's why
Jeez.
Texas becomes crucial going forward. If Texas goes blue, it's over.
There's no way they're going to go blue, though,
Well,
right?
if you look at the trajectory over the past few election cycles, it has gone.
Really?
California would never, you would have said in the 70s and 80s, California will never go blue. Look what they did. They influxed a whole bunch of Hispanics and, Democrat voters, gave them citizenship, and now look at the place.
It's interesting why maybe that's why they're opening up the border.
so
at Texas.
immigrate. But what? So are they banking on the fact that the Mexicans won't like Trump because he's tried to keep them out?
They're not. The immigrants are, and the Democrats know this. That's why they're pro-open borders. So let's get them a path to citizenship. What does that mean? It means a path for another vote. That's what it means.
That's exactly
That's
what
pretty
it means.
fucking
It's all so
disgusting.
fucking cynical. It's disgraceful, is what it is.
It's not like let's look after them for a better life. It's like let's get their vote.
No, that's all they see. It's just that's that they see them as cattle. Basically, it's another vote. Keep them reliant on government. Give them all the welfare. We'll look after you. Don't vote for us. We'll give you the welfare. We'll give you the food stamps. We'll give you everything. Vote for us. You'll be fine. And that's basically their strategy, and it seems to be working.
So the biggest states are Texas, California. So that's 55.
Yeah. So Texas is about 38. Or it was like it changes a little bit from election
Depending
to
on
election,
population.
depending on population movement.
Yeah.
Florida's 29 or 30. I think it might be 31 actually this coming one. New York's 29.
Yeah.
Illinois, where Chicago is 20.
Yeah.
And then you get into, so Trump will win the majority of states, like the actual number of states, because you've got smaller states in the flyover states where the population is small, but you add them up, there's like 6 votes here, 8 votes there, 3, and it just, but the big chunks, like really Texas and Florida are the only 2 that, and Florida up until recently has been a coin flip. Only now thanks
Heavily,
to, because DeSantis is quite popular there.
And because everyone who hated California has left and gone there.
Left in Florida. And they take their politics with them, sadly. You know, that's what...
I would like to make a future prediction and conspiracy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so based off the information you've told me, the number of electoral college votes gets dedicated to a state based on its population. My theory, and it's going from the immigration one, would be whoever's in charge of population data is going to be infiltrated and have influx of data in the states that suit that vote. If it was Liberals,
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's specifically actually population numbers. It's the counties and whatnot that are in control of said population. So just because there's another million people, if they're all spread out through the same counties and the same counties, is that the word, or regions, it's still the same, but they're still worth. So like
how do you get more votes then?
Wyoming is so sparsely.
But let's say Wyoming got an influx of 5 million people.
Yeah, as long as there's a new city and region and stuff in that.
I'm pretty sure it's based on because
specifically
population of
I'll
states.
Google it because that might be
because it's in the Senate. It's different. So each state in America, no matter what the population, has 2 senators in each state as representatives. But when it comes to the voting process, the electoral college is determined the number by population.
I would not be surprised to find any kind of inflation or tinkering with official numbers that suits that political party.
Yeah, well, there was, regardless of what you think of the 2020 election, to think that it was all above board, 100%.
Oh, of course not.
Fucking fool. Everyone say, there's, you might. People say, how did Joe Biden get 81 million votes? Well, actually, that's the part that I have least trouble believing because I don't underestimate the number of people that loathe Trump to the point that there'd be probably 10, 15 million people that loathe Trump enough that they wouldn't have otherwise voted.
Yeah.
But they'd just get up.
That's because they watched is it CNN that just reported all the fucked up shit he does?
Like ideologically enslaved to think that Trump's bad.
Yeah.
And like, obviously he's a flawed character. Yeah. He's a narcissist. Yeah, we get all that.
Yeah.
But if people are so tied down to so parochial, like barracking for their footy team that they can't see fault with their own side.
Yes.
When they do the same or worse things,
Yeah.
it's all one way. And so I don't underestimate the numbers of people that would have been inspired to come out and vote against Trump. And so, but the stuff that I can't quite fathom is just the swing. I remember, with the time difference, I remember going to bed that night. Beauty. Trump's in for. He had a substantial lead.
He was paying $1.04.
Yeah.
It came down to $1.04. It's like these.
This is the graph.
You can bet in the run.
Mate, what's it called? The betting agencies aren't fucking stupid. They look into it. They know exactly what's happening. The price came down to $1.04. Or you couldn't bet on him anymore.
Yeah.
And so I woke up the next morning and. Hello, what the fuck's happened here? It was unprecedented. It was like the mail-in, because of COVID, all the mail-in ballots that...
But voting's never, ever been stopped.
And they're not from...
Ever. Why was it stopped? That's dodgy in itself.
Yeah.
It was stopped.
Why did they say it was stopped from a burst pipe? Was that the one?
There's been all sorts of... Yeah.
How the fuck do they get away with it? Hey, everyone just goes, okay...
Pretty much.
Because their messaging is like the way to get that information out is through news and media and mainstream, because you're getting the message out to the masses. And if you don't have someone to get that message out, and they push the opposite and say, no, anyone who's suggesting anything else is a conspiracy theorist. That's how they keep it all about.
What was the swing in the end? A few million votes or something?
It was, I remember Trump was about 700,000 votes in front in Pennsylvania, which is 20 electoral college votes, crucial, and it will be again. He's got to win that back. There's no way he gets there if he doesn't win that Pennsylvania back, among others. But he's 700,000 votes in front. They get a dump of mail-in votes.
Yeah.
So sus.
And all of a sudden you see the graph, you can see the graph of the timeline of the votes, and you see Trump sort of going in this kind of steady kind of curve, and then you see 3 a.m. Biden.
Yeah,
fuck.
Now I remember.
It's so sus.
I remember reading. Sus. Yeah, it's so fucked. But I remember also reading that Trump was 125,000 votes away from winning the presidency.
Wow.
Because there was a 250,000 person swing in one of the states.
Yeah.
And if he got the 125,000 the other way, he would have won it.
Yeah.
It's not even half. You don't have to, you just have to half that. Yeah. And it ends up being...
As a logical person with no skin in the game, you would have to look at those statement of facts and say, something is not right here. Trump is not wrong for having the biggest hissy fit in the history of man.
I agree.
Saying that it was rigged because there was something that doesn't add up. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't look right. There's probably something not right with it.
Well, and so I was pretty close. It's sort of the electoral votes are allocated amongst states based on census. Every state is allocated a number of votes equal to the number of senators and representatives in its U.S. congressional delegation. 2 votes for its senators in the U.S. Senate, plus a number of votes equal to the number of the congressional district. So it's sort of...
And so the senators are also based on the population. So
100%.
kind of like
It's a bit of both.
Gates back.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the more people you
No,
have,
not the senators, the reps. The senators,
reps
there's
you
2 per state. The reps are based on population size, and
So
that
if you
changes.
get bigger,
Exactly,
you get
yes.
another rep.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
worth an extra
Yeah,
vote.
yeah.
So if a heap of people
Or so
swarmed to Wyoming
Okay.
from Texas, you'd
Yeah.
probably have to move a couple of those.
So
Yeah.
almost what they've already done with letting in a fuck ton of immigrants, they would force themselves
Correct.
to have a representative,
Potentially.
which would be a Democratic.
Yeah, well, you look at a place like Dearborn in Minnesota. You have that Ilhan Omar. Familiar with her? She's a Somali immigrant. So basically, that's become a Somali, Islamic Somali enclave. That part of Michigan. So did I say Minnesota? Dearborn,
Illinois?
No. I think she's Minnesota. Anyway, and so all of their elected officials are from that community,
Right.
and so it's become like a little Mogadishu in the northern part of America where it snows for 8 months of the year. So
Yeah, right.
and so this is the type of
It's funny because on one hand, that's a positive that you've got a community that's represented by someone from their community. But on the flip side, it can be just used as a political tool.
Yeah, and she's there for life now. Like she's basically got a $200,000 a year income for life. She can stay there forever.
I might move there.
No, trust me, you don't want to move there.
I want to be a Mogadishu senator.
Yeah.
Get set for life.
I do. I'm looking at the future potentials of the election, and it scares me that potentially you could get a situation like last time. I don't think either way the election goes, they're not going to handle it very well.
Yeah.
You're going to get
Civil war is going to come.
That's probably the only certainty out of it. But that's why I said, look, I wish I was confident that Trump would absolutely get there. I still think he will. If you held a gun to my head and said, "Oh, well, who do you think's going to?"
That's an American.
That's a very. I still think he will. I think he'll get back Georgia. I think he'll get back Arizona as an absolute certainty. The other states, question mark. But the path is so narrow that you just have to. Everything has to fall the right way.
Because
I can't believe Biden's been nominated as the candidate. Did you see what I sent on my story today?
It's ridiculous, man.
He got nominated without nominating himself.
Yeah, well,
He
basically,
didn't run last time. He stayed in a fucking basement the whole time and got
And
the
still
most
won.
votes
How?
in history.
How?
No.
Biden wins primary.
I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Biden wins primary without contesting.
Yeah. Well, there's no challenges. So, but he's the incumbent.
But
so-
how can he be their best candidate? He's
Well, he's-
fucking like senile.
He's
and
the best candidate because he doesn't.
He's not the candidate.
He's not the candidate.
No, he's basically controlled by the managerial class. He's just if there was there's metaphorical strings attached to him. So
Manchurian candidate, but awake.
yes.
Well, awake is fucking pulling it
Depends
loosely.
on how you define awake.
Yeah.
too.
But I'm saying, like, surely, right? Biden is the worst possible puppet you can have because you pull the string of the arm and the leg moves. Right? Like, he's not functioning as a puppet.
But also, it just shows that it's so completely obvious to everyone that how much he's just controlled and not in charge at all. It shows just like, hey,
It's like
we're doing it in front of you, and you can't do anything about it.
The most telling part is when he does those scheduled press conferences and he makes a statement, which may be a 90-second statement, and then the journalists start like firing questions at him. Remember, it's just like a mishmash of. And the handlers just go, off you go, off you go.
And where is that okay? You are meant to be the greatest country in the world, and your president is afraid of question time. Like, if he can't handle questions being fired
because
at him,
it's off script.
you don't want him firing fucking nukes.
So I don't want to suggest that potentially that Trump is the savior and he's the greatest thing that we
Oh,
could ever
he's
have.
great.
But he's definitely a better option.
Yeah.
100.
He's 100% a better option. The world was safer.
Yeah.
Whether people want to fucking agree with it or
Try
not, the
telling
world
that
was
to
safer.
people, though. Oh, no, try telling that to people. you know.
Well, it's fucking just
It-
fact.
it is
It's-
fact.
it's
It is.
statistically, you
Yeah.
can look at it. You
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah, but that's like a cult. You could statistically show a cult
Yeah.
that their leader is not going to grow wings and fly to the fucking spaceship behind Nebula.
People still think
They won't
Obama
do it.
was a
But
good
you know,
president.
you know who I blame for this, and this might get a little bit controversial. You know who I blame for
The minorities.
No, you'd be surprised. No, it's not the blacks, it's not the gays, it's
Yeah.
not the Jews, right? You know who it is? Who
Single-
are responsible?
White women.
It's-
Yeah?
Thank you. Progressive, college-educated white women.
Well,
Yeah.
who
Who the fuck let them vote?
who was the
Ironically, if they didn't vote, you know who they'd be the demographic that would be better off.
Yeah,
that if they
100%.
they'd be best served by them. Not, they vote against their own interests.
Now, I think
Yeah,
that's
because they
it's-
try to virtue signal or
Correct.
like speak on behalf of races, cultures,
Yeah.
genders that they
So
have no idea about.
They vote in favour of like lax immigration policies, which allows a lot of rather low IQ people to come into the country, and then they're jogging through the woods, and all of a sudden they're sexually assaulted
Yeah.
by that very same person that they helped get into the country.
and
So-
it makes sense because
As a general rule.
As a general rule, because in the States, the men are out doing the work and providing for the family, and the women are trying to. There's this movement for them to better themselves and claim responsibility and follow their path as well. So they're all going to college, trying to get their diplomas in whatever they're trying
Yeah.
to learn. So they're all the ones who are in college, and then we see the Russian. The Russian ex-KGB guys say that 20, 30 years ago that the way we're going to fuck up America is to infiltrate their university and
universities,
college.
yeah.
And like to basically make them, what was it?
It basically ingrained woke culture into...
Well, it was to question
Reality.
reality.
Yeah.
To go
So
against what we could objectively see.
And so I think the gist of it is the inability for people to come to sensible conclusions based on accurate information and data that they're presented. There's still unwillingness or inability to reach sensible conclusions, and he nailed it. That was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And that is warfare. That is, we are not in this to win over 4 years. We are going to fuck your country up from the inside.
Yeah, it's KGB tactics, because most of the KGB tactics was not actual warfare; it was subversion. Ideological subversion.
Yeah.
And so that's how they got to reach their goals that they wanted to reach, is by pumping all of this propaganda into the soft heads of the youth.
Yeah.
Coming through the universities and all that, and then once you do that, it takes a couple of generations to undo the damage. So you've actually planted a seed, and I think that's pretty much where we're at now. And usually the pendulum swings.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a really woke kind of culture, usually in a generation, the next generation coming through would rebel against that. They'd see the lunacy, but that's on the proviso that the people in the institutions are actually presenting them with another worldview.
Yeah.
If all they're getting is one-way traffic, then it's very hard to form another view or maybe ask a few questions. So that's where I'm not necessarily convinced that the pendulum is going to swing, because they've infiltrated academia to the point where, if you express any kind of views on college campuses, whether it's pro-life, if you're anti-abortion, or if you happen to be a proponent of traditional marriage like I am, if you're against LGBT kind of propaganda and gay marriage and all that kind of thing, good luck on a university campus,
Yeah, and I guess, and that's why as well, it's not just white women that we say that as a large generalization, but the other people who are promoting the woke agenda and being that sort of ally. I hate that word ally, but ally of the community. They're also the men who have gone to college.
But they're not even men anymore.
It's the men who want to fuck those women.
That's
that are
right.
yeah. So it's those two
Feminine.
demographics. Yeah, it's those college-educated women and the
Male
men that get no
feminists.
pussy and they think they're in with a shot by jumping on the coattails. But can I just give you an interesting statistic?
They're the ones that end up raping them as well.
They end up they're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
They
You're
are.
right. A lot of the time, they
100% all the time.
they're the ones with they've got you check their Google history and you can ask a few
It
questions.
happens all the time. Like a guy will act gay or queer,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they girl feel
Solidarity.
safe, and
Yeah.
then fucking
like
they're
a
drunk
predator.
and out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Fuck,
Yeah,
all of a
the first
sudden,
one.
I'm not gay anymore.
But can I just tell you there are if you excluded the women's vote, that demographic, the 25 to sort of 55-year-old college educated white woman, do you know that there'd be a few prominent world leaders who would never have been elected? I give you Biden, I give you Trudeau, I give you Emmanuel Macron,
yeah.
and Jacinda Ardern.
Geez, you've
And
named fucking
50% of them are
good.
French fucks.
Oh my God.
and Angela Merkel. So
Yeah, right.
can we objectively say that how much better off the world would be if those fuckers weren't in power?
That's a very, very good point.
Yeah.
They're just that you've probably listed 5 of the worst leaders
Oh.
in
What
the
was
last
now?
decade.
I'm a little bit distant from Jacinta Ardern. What was her other than the vaccine stance? What was her
She was Mark McGowan.
right
There you go.
during COVID? During the COVID times, or beforehand, or
But the same sort of thing, loyal to whoever was lining her pockets.
right.
Same thing as with McGowan, who was
As,
giving.
I
his
mean, I
pockets
would
were
never
being-
be loyal to those lining up pockets. But have you ever played golf with Kahuna Golfwear before?
No, I don't play golf full stop. So, but
Oh man, they are some of the most comfortable fitting clothes. And
I see where this is going. Right? No, I play golf every day, every second day. I play golf.
yeah.
Very clever, Delby. Kahuna Golf.
Why did you not give me a prod before the potty
No,
started?
it's just completely fun. I'm just saying I would never be loyal to those lining up pockets. But I feel fucking energized. I had a coffee and that had nothing on vibe culture this morning. I mixed that
Vibe
protein.
culture is very good, Delby.
Yeah, I was awake.
Don't they have electrolytes and a bit of a few amino acids in
All
there?
sorts.
Yeah, that's
it just puts a pep in your step. It's got 57 milligrams of caffeine. So
no collagen though.
yeah, no collagen, no electoral collagen votes. So,
that's good.
So Jacinta Ardern, is she known for anything else except for being like Mark McGowan? I'm not really across New Zealand politics.
Horse teeth, basically.
Well, she could be the royal family.
Yeah. Nah, she's just your typical authoritarian kind of dressed up as this, your friendly neighbour next door. But
Yeah.
she COVID has claimed there are no state premiers here now that have survived COVID. They're all gone.
They all died
within
from the vaccine. Yeah, so everyone that was in during COVID, so Dan Andrews is out. Mike
Anastasia's
McGowan,
out.
Anastasia,
What's her name? The bin chicken. What's her name? Gladys.
Bin
Yeah.
chicken.
Gladys Bin Chicken.
Yeah.
The
The guy in South Australia, Marshmallow.
well, isn't it weird? Well, didn't Gladys get done for an affair? Mark McGowan has a hidden affair that no one's heard about.
Yeah.
Dan Andrews didn't. I heard a conspiracy that he didn't fall down the stairs; he was attacked.
Yeah.
By the husband or whatever of the partner.
Yeah, the story goes that he was at a party or something, and he was a little bit inebriated, and maybe was a bit suggestive and lewd towards a female who was
Spoken for.
maybe in her late teens.
Oh, right. So he was trying to give the jab to the young.
Yeah, trying to.
Oh, God. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And he was pushed down the stairs, which would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
as to
Because that stair that I seen him fall down,
That fall
is
down was just
fucking
like-
that.
Really?
So
Yeah.
That's
it's
interesting.
literally it's fucking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's interesting that they're all gone, but also like it's a natural cycle. So you could
Yeah.
be drawing a long bow, a short bow.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that they put us through, and they've had a nice, smooth, quiet exit to
In
politics.
that, or
And that's it.
Into being board members on mining
Cushy
companies
jobs.
and mining companies that they
fun.
were.
But circling
Yeah.
back to the professors and the statement of facts and reality, I don't know what it is. I've been indoctrinated somehow because I think empathy is a really important quality to have and to be able to see how other people's lives are being affected, right? But on the flip side, you feel like almost censoring yourself, where you might see fact X, fact Y, fact Z. So you go, oh, well, that must mean that this minority part of the community is doing this, right? But when you say that out loud, based off evidence and facts, you might come across as racist, misogynistic, homophobic, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the facts suggest that that is exactly what's happening. What is it about us as a society that can't actually say it out loud without fear of retribution?
I
Is
wish
that
I-
a tactic that's
I
been...
wish I knew the answer to that question, because there's, they're called hate facts.
Yeah.
And, and I, Look, I don't have anything for. Let's talk about the LGBT community or whatever acronym it is today. I have nothing against whatever they do. The problem I have is that I would just like society to allow me the courtesy of going to my grave without knowing who's gay, who's trans, who's bi, who's taking it up to the elbow, who's up who and who's paying the rent.
It's none of our business.
Well, not only that, it has absolutely no bearing on how I treat an individual. But at the same time, now, and this is the part that low IQ people have trouble reconciling. I can have that opinion, which I think is a perfectly mainstream, uncontroversial, reasonable opinion to have, and at the same time think that the act of sodomy, which is the sexual practice that these people engage in, is both disgusting physically and morally, and the mere thought of it makes me want to vomit. Like, I don't see that as a pleasant thing, but I can divorce the two and say that, but...
Because some people like it.
Some people like, not my cup of tea, and I prefer not to see it as well. Like, I don't want to see these gay parades every couple of weeks where, you've got middle-aged men with arseless pants and they're waving dildos around and on New Year's Eve when the ball drops in New York, the first thing that CNN cut to are two men kissing each other. I don't want to see. Certainly don't want my kids to see that. And so I kind of liked it better when, in a way, and this is going to sound terrible, when they were in the closet. It's not like just in the closet.
Controversy.
In the closet to the extent that just don't shove it in our faces. Yes, we understand that.
Well, just on the flip side, the same way that if there was a parade with strippers walking down the street, you wouldn't bring your kid to see fully grown women with their tits out, and fucking hooking up with even same-sex couples, making out with your tongue out, your fucking.
If you see a man with a trench coat walking down brown trench coat walking down the street, and he opens it up, and all he's got is like his ass, like a G-string and his ass hanging out, you'd call the cops. If you do in a gay parade, if that G-string is a rainbow G-string, then it's totally fine.
It's a bit of hypocrisy.
Just a little bit. So I can't for the life of me understand why that's allowed to happen.
It interests me that people will base you often say it, like it's what you sort of identify as, what your pronouns are, means nothing, because if you're a cunt, I'm still going to dislike you. If you're a really good person, I'm still going to like you. You're basing your opinion on someone based on the content of their character, and also I guess it like. How arrogant are you to suggest that I want to know what your pronouns are? I
will never use someone's correct pronouns, because if they're clearly a bloke and they say, no, I'm a she, her, no, I say, no, you're not. No, you're not. Don't force me into perpetuating your delusion. You can go along. The problem. I have no problem with a man living a life thinking that he's a woman. But the problem comes when you try and enforce that belief and force me to go along with it. Like
It's like if someone told you, hey, I'm Jesus. You got to tell me you're Jesus. You go, no, you're not. You're fucking mentally ill.
Okay, I've got a $10 note. If I draw a zero on it, it becomes $100. You're selling a pair of shoes for $80. I'll give you that note. So this is $100. Can I have your shoes and $20 change, please? It's okay for me to think that there's $100.
Yes.
But the problem comes only when I try and say, well, hang on, mate. Well, how is this not $100? Give me those shoes and give me
Well, I would argue inflation, $10 is $100.
But when objective reality is actually being questioned, it does, lend credence to the idea of like, is this by design? Or is it more sinister? Because it can't be that society has become so, for lack of a better word, fucking dumb.
No, it's absolutely right. And look, it's no coincidence that you look at the what is it, Gen Z now, the Alpha, I forget, what's the cutoff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know, Delby?
Millennial. And so if you look at the number of the statistics on the number of people going by generations identifying as something other than male or female, or sexuality something other than heterosexual, it is just
It's because they found a new way to feel special.
Yeah, and the benefit of pronouns is if someone has a pronoun badge or has a pronoun in their email signature, I automatically know that they're an insufferable cunt straight away. I don't even need to know anything about them.
Or they've been forced by their company to include it on their email.
Which would cause me to, if it was a company I'd worked for, I would quit out of principle. I'm not going to subject myself to to debase myself to that extent where I have to put someone like my name. Clearly, I am it's a male's name, and I don't need to put he, him there. I really don't.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess one thing, talking topics like this, every topic we've spoken about so far, it's quite divisive. And even this morning, I sent Delby a message, and we put up a clip about us talking about Australia Day. Two sides of the conversation, both sort of agreeing and disagreeing, but having a really cool little conversation about it. And unity was the caption. It was
Unity.
Surely the most important thing is coming together. And I put this clip out just to put the conversation out there, and the hate, I got a notification. I turned my TikTok off, turned it back on an hour later, and we had 596 comments. And I went, fuck.
So what was I haven't seen it. What was
it was just I changed the date for Australia Day or not, or just a good convencing about it.
Yeah.
And
I was just saying we should maybe you can have the morning for morning and then come together in the afternoon.
Yeah. So he's making and sort of just maybe trying to find some way of coming together, and all it did was by having that conversation generate hate between people.
You bring out the racists with that one.
And
they fucking damn it. It's no Aboriginal person has spoken in our clip.
Yes.
And they're immediately going, they fucking this, that. It's no, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. And for and then people will say, well, you can't talk about it. We're Australians. So
I don't give a fuck what you say. We're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah. And
we've been shamed into thinking that we can't have an opinion.
Yes.
And everybody should be allowed to voice their opinion as long as you're not promoting hate speech or you're not bullying or you're not segregating somebody.
So and that's the big thing I was getting at was I really want to have these conversations to bring people together and create education and use this platform that's actually getting bigger and bigger for a thing of good. But it's hard because you put that out there and people go to their instinctive ways of thinking. You've been doing the same.
How
does it make you feel?
Look, it doesn't surprise me. But look, I'm a believer in about the slippery slope theory, right?
No.
No, okay. So basically, if you start conceding ground to somebody, to a group, all right, it's not too long until the next group comes, or to the next thing comes along and say, okay, well, we've encroached this far. Let's just try a little bit further. So
a bit like NATO.
Very much so. So a couple of examples. So with the Australia Day. So, okay, all right, you change the date. So that's step one. The people who want to change the date, they don't really want to change the date. They want to abolish the date. That's the first stepping stone in abolishing the date. They see us as colonisers, stolen land, etc. That's not going to change. What would actually change?
And when you say they, you're talking about the Aboriginal people that want to change the date in this case?
Whether it's the Aboriginal people or the allies, as you put it, just that whole conglomerate of people who want to, their ultimate aim is to, whether they say it or not, it's obvious, the ultimate aim is to abolish the date. And once you change the date, it'll go on to a different date for a few years, and then it'll. Same with the LGBT. LGBT used to only be LGB, right? The T came into it.
Yeah, they fucked everything.
Yeah, they fucked everything, and now it's the plus.
Yeah,
what the fuck is the plus?
That's just
what
good
is
grades.
And so this is what I mean. The slippery slope. It's gone from bake our cake for the gay wedding to. The baker doesn't want to bake a cake because it goes against his religious beliefs. Good for him. Okay. To respect our pronouns and to allow this bloke with a beard and a moustache wearing a dress into a woman's bathroom. So that's what I mean by
I would be frustrated if I was a lesbian or a gay person. The fact that the trans community have been lumped in with you, I would be very, very
well, not just that.
Because the trans community a lot of it stands for fucking trans reality. A lot of them are mentally ill. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm more than comfortable to say that the vast majority of them have some form of mental illness or autism.
And 10 years ago, we treated it as such.
Yeah.
We said, look, it's like, okay, Danny Laidley, let's take an example. Danny Laidley, right? Danny Laidley is not a woman. Danny Laidley will never be a woman. Danny Laidley is not capable of being a woman. Okay, but yet we're all supposed to go along with addressing Danny Laidley as a she. I refuse to do it. That's I can call him Danny Laidley because you can change your name legally.
Yeah.
But like, what about, okay, so I'm not a 46-year-old anymore. I'm 13.
Yeah.
So
Which has just happened, hasn't it?
which has just happened, and if you this is so we're okay with someone who says that they're a woman when they're clearly not a woman. It's like, okay, well that's your but you can. Am I allowed to go into an underage disco if I say I'm 13? Am I like? Can I?
No, you just buy an island and host your own.
So like gender is far more important than age, I believe, into socially, like and so I just cannot reconcile the two. So I will and it will take some, and the longer it goes on, the longer like people like us perpetuate this delusion, the longer it's going to go on and the worse it's going to get. It's going to take some brave person who doesn't mind getting death threats to say, well, no, like
Bit of logic.
Bit of logic. No, you can live your life as a woman. You can pretend that you're a woman. Don't force me to pretend that you're a woman. You are not a woman.
Yeah,
That's
I think Danny Laidley is an interesting case fact from all accounts. Very early on, before before all of it, he or she was like wanting to live as a woman. From what I've heard from all of the teammates, there was something there.
Yeah.
However, the thing that frustrates me, like if I was a gay person, gay guy, being lumped in with the trans community is they're two different communities. There's different goals, there's different attributes, there's different in sexuality. One's sexuality, one's identity. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
The gay
the
gay movement
preference,
has
the other one.
succeeded.
Yeah.
Like the gay movement, everybody accepts gay people like, as a general rule. I would say that like there's so much acceptance. The Court nightclub, for example, has been overtaken by straights because everybody goes there to party.
Some people like fat girls, some people like Asian people, like people have their preference.
Yeah.
Some guys like guys, some girls like girls. That's fine. That's a sexual preference. That's completely different to what you feel like and how you identify.
Yeah.
You're right. They
And,
are completely
like,
different.
My uncle's gay, right? He doesn't force people to call him gay. He doesn't have to go and kiss his boyfriend in public to fucking confirm that he's gay.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gay. I'm working on the farm.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. There is no need to force the public to accept you. We already accept you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no need to.
the gay rights thing has been fought and won.
It's
a
done.
long time ago. It's done. So they're just, it's just
It's the trans that are the problem. The trans community are the problem. And see, even saying that, you feel bad. But the objective truth and the facts are the problems have been coming and stemming from the trans community, man. All of the recent problems.
It comes back to it can't help but feel it's by design. It's too illogical.
Or it's just a social phenomenon like yo-yos.
What was
Yo bros.
What was the thing that I did see? Probably just on a TikTok or something, but it was towards, so it could be nothing. But by the end of most civilizations, at the end of era, gender becomes...
That's it, off Joe Rogan.
Is it Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
When a civilization becomes so advanced technologically and there's nothing else, they start to...
And it's the
Is that
undoing
Joe Rogan or is that Ted Kaczynski?
But like that division that I was getting on to earlier, like how do we bridge that gap? Like how do we go, right, we want to have these conversations without having, or is this something we have to accept?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it increasingly it's appearing as though it's something we have to accept. But like, if you look at there have been about 110 billion people who have inhabited the earth before you and I have lived and died before you and I were even born. 99.999% of those, by today's standards, would be categorized as ultra far right extremists, and violent ones at that, right? So that just gives you an illustration as to how far we've progressed in such a short space of time. So we've gone at a very slow kind of, society's progress. It's inevitable, all right? You can't stop progress. You just can't. It's not necessarily a good thing that you can't, in certain areas especially, but it has sort of gone at a pretty slow pace up until a decade or two ago, and it's just fucking, there's no brakes on this ride. Like, it's just,
It's so interesting, like, what you should be able to say that you don't feel comfortable seeing some form of act, and there is no difference between that and someone going, I want to be able to express who I am. there's no right or wrong.
People don't like public displays of affection.
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting there passionate a girl right in front of you, you're like, fuck off, get a room, bro.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing that someone would say.
But it's funny
So
because
why
your opinion on what you don't like, for some reason, has less weighting than the opinion of the minority community of what they do like or what they don't like. You're automatically seen to be wrong, even though, like, why do they have a moral high ground? And I mean they as in anybody that's been oppressed, and we have to automatically agree. Like, the worst thing is, like, Fringe Festival, you'll see it. Go to a Fringe show that's got any kind of drag or gay or lesbian or themed show, and you'll see the way that, if I was to speak the way that some of the, and I'm not going to blanket it, but I've watched and I know a few trans and gay performers. If you spoke about them the way that they talk about men or straight people, it would be considered hate speech and you would be cancelled.
Well, the only form of acceptable...
Corey White example.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the only form of acceptable racism is against white people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, what does diversity, equity and inclusion mean? Diversity means fewer or no white people. Equity means stealing from white people. And inclusion means exclusion of white people. That's pretty much coded language for all of those three. You see 100, if you see a picture of 100 black people in whatever setting, people say, oh, how diverse, that's one of you. See 100 white people, that's a KKK meeting.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's kind of the language that's being, so it's if you're a straight white male, you're just public enemy number one. You're not allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
If you say something, it's true. It's less true than if a brown person says it.
Do you think that's due to history, because the people that have been the most heavily oppressive leaders have been straight white men that have inflicted oppression and you know, whatever it be, slavery, rules, murdering people.
Pretty
for being gay.
Pretty sure Chairman Mao wasn't a straight.
I was
white
about to
male.
say, so
Pol Pot wasn't a straight white male,
and
but that was
Genghis Khan.
But that's against their own people. I'm talking about let's say, take America as the classic example. If you have a white president that enslaves blacks, and I know there's lots of other examples, but if you look at that historically, when there's been a mixed community, because General Mao is just the Chinese. Right, and then the Pol Pot was just the
Cambodians.
But they're too.
You know,
but
it's not them going against white. I think there was religion, was it?
Yeah, in a lot of instances,
and smart people for Pol Pot. Anyone with glasses.
But have you seen where?
And then Hitler. You know, it's because of those people that you see.
Yeah.
Why we are not allowed to have a voice, because it's considered dangerous.
Oh, have you seen where Bobby Lee talked about, like, Asians and
Koreans had the most slaves,
and then they had the most slaves. But I guess that is it's interesting. I just always find these sorts of thoughts that are happening. They're ideologically driven. It's a group, because the same people who think this also think that. It's not like they're making nuanced, educated choices based on every individual situation. So, for example, they will preach, the same people who will preach trust the science for the jab for the last 3 years will then say that men can be women.
Yeah.
They will deny that if you dig up bones of a human being,
very good point,
50,000 years ago, that skeleton isn't actually identified as
non-binary skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. So what is it in these people who
virtue signalers?
They're the same people.
They love feeling morally superior to you. They love a virtue signal.
White guilt. They want you to go, oh, what a great person.
But
no one fucking thinks that.
But
no one.
My point is, what's created this group? And what's created that group? Like, I can see what's created the far right and the far left.
Far left is probably that 20% of single mums with no strong father figure in the house.
I feel like the far of each side is
they're both fucked.
They're an overcorrection. And the middle ends up going, fuck, I don't care. Either way, just stop, just leave me alone. Yeah. And Corey White said it a few times recently, you know, the middle are going right out of spite because they're just over the fucking over preaching and the overcorrection.
Don't force your shit onto people, man.
Yeah, well, I did the political compass test, you know, that whole quadrants, you know, the authoritarian, libertarian, left, right. And I reckon if I would have done it 10 years ago, I would have got a completely different result. I was on the comfortably on the authoritarian right, just basically on social issues more than anything else, you know, like things like, you know, like gay stuff and marijuana and all that kind of thing. So I'm, you know...
What about gay marijuana?
No way.
Not that gay stuff.
And so I think that speaks to what you're saying, that I've kind of drifted in that direction over the last few years based on, you know, what's been happening around me. So I would never have considered myself, you know, a decade ago to say like I'm on the authoritarian right in terms of the political proclivities that I have.
I'm like such a fucking mix, bro. I'm like far right with some things, but then I'm very, very left with others. Like empathy, acceptance. Like my best friend is gay, makes absolutely no difference to me. And that sounds like one of those arguments. My best friend's gay, like one of my best mates is fucking gay. It's like, I couldn't give a fuck, man. He's a legend. But that's not what I see. And then when we speak about like any of these issues, he tends to agree with me, and then some things he'll pull me up on, and I'll go, "Oh, actually, like."
But that's how a conversation should happen.
Yeah,
You'd
well,
be like,
and it's not hate speech.
Welcome to how the real world should operate. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, it's what I said before. I have nothing against gay people per se. It's just like I just, because it has no bearing on how I would treat someone.
Yeah.
You know, if I saw someone who needed help or was like, you know, I could save their life or whatever. So, excuse me, mate,
I knew he wants the mouth to mouth. Okay, man.
Can you
mouth to mouth?
Can you just say, you know, are you gay before I decide how I'm going to act?
Before I save your life, what's your pronouns? What's your sexuality?
No person would do that.
Yeah.
I truly believe that activism and the goodness in people has been weaponized throughout history.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
Because look, you can go back all the way to the teachings of Jesus. Like some man walking around preaching some pretty fucking good ideas. You know,
Straight
like,
brown male.
treat you know, like treat others as you want to be treated. You know, don't judge others. You know, there's 5 or 6. I think it's 5 pretty decent teachings, and then it's been, you know, taken by a church and weaponized and used to enslave and control people. And we see that, I still think now in the current world, like activism, which things that I used to really get behind have now been weaponized to turn into this woke left extreme agenda, and now I don't want to be an activist.
And I think part of the explanation maybe what goes to what we were discussing earlier, like we're becoming more secular as just the West in general. So you look at Australia, the US, they're becoming less and less Christian. Like I think Christianity.
Does secular mean different religions?
Non-religious.
Right.
So and so I think something like Christianity actually civilizes people, because if you believe in God, well, what does that automatically mean by default?
It means fuck kids. No.
It means that if you believe in like the Lord or whatever God, you automatically believe that you yourself can't be God, or that the government can't be God,
and there's some form of retribution.
There's
when
some
you die.
form, and you live your life according to these tenets, and you try not to transgress. You sort of, you know, act in a moral way. So there's less and less of that, and so there's a vacuum that's been created. Like, you know, you look at the you know, the TikTok culture, you know, all that kind of thing. That sort of has got the ability. It's so powerful, so influential that it's going to take over, you know, influencing youth rather than, you know, how many young people go to church these days? I don't think it's that many.
But that's where my issue lies. Church has been completely corrupt, in my opinion. Almost every single church I go to, I can see straight through what their ulterior motive is. It's not to make you a better person. It's to get money out of you, so they can line the pockets of the church and they can line the pockets of the pastors. All the youth groups when I was younger, they were fucking loaded. And guess what? All the youth group leaders ended up fucking marrying the 13-year-old girls that went there.
But
many times.
So again, these are like
every leader.
These
in
are
that youth
individuals that don't represent a whole thing, and I don't truly believe they go in with bad intentions. I think they would even if they're trying to get money out of you, they're doing it for the goodness of their God.
Well, that's the super churches are the ones that trigger me.
Yeah. So, and I think at their heart, they truly believe what they're doing is right. But I still truly believe that Christianity's been hijacked by the greed and ego of men.
Yeah.
And what was originally a very good message and teachings were very valid. But greed always takes over.
Yeah,
and
it's human nature, isn't
it's
it?
been weaponized.
So, what was the funny thing about your page is that it would bring out the racist. It just brings out the misogyny. It brings out in the comments.
And this is what I was getting at with
you
the
post
division.
something without a caption, and straight away.
In a way, it's kind of like I see that, and I completely agree. I see that as an outlet. It's almost like you're anonymous.
Yeah.
You can't get away with saying that shit to someone's face out in public, in a public forum. It's a way of, and I have a feeling that they're overcompensating those comments. That's not, they don't believe it to the true extent of what they're commenting on, in my opinion.
It's like almost like getting a punch out, like
It's like
a little racial slur out.
Jesus!
I've been suppressed for that long in what I can and can't say. That given the opportunity, I'm just gonna fucking go for it.
Yeah. I think there's almost another level. As you say that, I'm having like a little epiphany here. As part of the human experience, we've got our consciousness, subconscious, and our superconscious. There's now a fourth, which is your online conscious. So the way that you act online, that's not really how you think. That's not really what you would say as a person. Yeah. It's some external form of you that you represent online that is this cheeky little, it's almost like your little fourth conscious that doesn't really fear public retribution because you get to hide behind a shadow. So you've got like almost an online consciousness now that sits somewhere between our subconscious and our consciousness.
Which can then be corrupted by AI.
Dude,
now,
the AI things.
But the thing that I liked most about operating my page is that a lot of my followers, well, probably all of my followers would not be normies. You know, not like 90% of the population would probably be categorized as normies. Like, for example, somebody who would look at watch the news, get a story presented to them. There's always a narrative behind the story, and they would just consume the news and believe whatever narrative is being fed to them, whether it's overt or subconsciously. You know, without question, there would be no curiosity or desire to.
It's like most people can't tell you why they dislike Trump.
Correct. Yeah. It's just this blind hatred of Trump, and they can't tell you why. They'll just say, "Oh, he's vile, he's disgusting." Okay, fine. A lot of people are that. Yeah. But tell me actually why. Give me some substance as to why you hate him. Take the personal stuff out of it. Like, why is he so bad? And so, what was it? So my page appealed to the kind of people that would tend to do their own research. They're the type of people that if I was
you can't do that.
If I was to express my views to 10 random people in a room, like along the lines of what I'm doing here, 9 out of 10 would just, including members of my own family, would just have their jaws on the ground. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. How can you say? And the other person would just be silently nodding along, I get it, you know. Yeah. Things aren't black and white. There's always, even if you're being told the truth about something in a news story, because what's the number one way that you think that journalists or mainstream media lies? There are several methods. What do you think is the number one?
They put an emotional hook to a story?
Well, I actually think they lie by omission.
I was about to say it's lying by omission.
They lie by omission. So they present a story either completely devoid of the opposite side, or missing context as to they present something as to why it is, but they don't actually delve into, well, what are the factors behind why it is?
Because what they're putting out then is technically true. It's real, but they've left out context.
Prime example, like my two boys this is back in Melbourne, my two boys go to primary school. This is during COVID when the schools reopened. And the grade 3s, I don't know whether you knew this, but in Victoria, the grade 3s and year 3s and above still needed to wear masks, whereas the littlies, they were below year 3. Yeah. Channel 9 sent out a news crew to my kids' school, just doing random interviews with parents saying, "Oh, what do you think about this this direction to this policy about the kids wearing masks?" And I happened to be one of the people that they stopped and interviewed. And I went on about how fucking ridiculous it was and how it was no basis whatsoever in science and like all that kind of thing. And I spoke to a couple of other parents just on that day saying, I was interviewing and say, I was too. I said, well, what did you say? I said, I didn't agree with it and all that kind of thing. And I spoke to maybe 3 or 4 that had that were stopped, and they must have done about 20 or 30, and I saw them. So do you think that any of those opinions made the 6 o'clock cut in the 6 o'clock bulletin that night? No, it was all the ones that they go, oh, no, we understand. It's for the betterment of, it's for the greater good. So that's what I'm talking about.
Because that would have promoted hesitancy.
And so what I'm saying is it's not an accurate reflection of public sentiment.
Yeah.
This is how they lie. And you wouldn't know it. Anybody watching the news that day think, oh, fuck, everybody agrees. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's wear a mask, you know. And that wasn't the case at all. And so the normal person, the normie watching whatever it might be, whether it's about Trump, whether it's about gun violence in the US, there's been another school shooting, you know, guns bad, white men bad, you know. That's the narrative, that's the underlying narrative behind all of those stories, without exception. But they never delve into the statistics as to, okay, well, let's get to the bottom of why this is occurring. Let's compare countries, let's compare data, because if you eliminate the gun murders, if you rerun the numbers in the US without the black people, guess what? It's on a par with a lot of other countries. If you just rerun the numbers, just take that demographic out of it.
And why does that make people feel uncomfortable?
Why?
Yeah.
You tell me why.
Because it implies something about a race.
Yeah.
And does that potentially go back to what we were talking about with the bone thugs and creating those sorts of situations where it has turned into that? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And so
because it feels bad to say, like,
But if it's a fact.
sounds racist to say 95%, whatever the percentage is from the black community.
Well, Kanye says it, black on black crime.
Yeah.
Like people will talk about it. Then they get cancelled. He'll talk about.
But that's even more inclusive to say, hey guys, it's black people killing black people.
Yeah.
Instead of ignoring that and not saying that, that's almost more racist.
This is why
hide from truth.
This is why the Black Lives Matter movement's such a fraud. It's like, you know, and you talk about filling the coffers. They are a political terrorist group, basically interested in just enriching themselves.
Is there no actual benefit? Do you think there's people in that group that are
self-serving?
Yeah.
So there are the amount of them have been charged with fraud-related offences and buying mansions and all that kind of thing.
Same as white politicians.
Yeah, well, but you
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
92% of black homicide victims, the perpetrators are also black.
Yeah.
You will not see, like, you see one white cop who shoots and kills an unarmed black man for who knows, not innocent reasons. They don't just go up to them and start, you know, unloading and, you know, ventilating them. Cities will burn for something like that. Yet they're happy to turn a blind eye to the countless dozens, hundreds of execution murders that are in Chicago, Baltimore, Memphis, New Orleans,
and even
you
a
name
white
it.
cop shooting an unarmed white guy won't make the news.
No.
But and again, I think it's quite nuanced because it's like, well, yeah, those facts might be correct, and then the question you have to is why are they correct, and then you can start to dive down into that. Potentially those sorts of conspiracies that we talk about with the culture and the social stuff.
The three of us are happy to go down those rabbit holes because we're inquisitive. We want to know. I'm not happy. I ask questions. So if something is the way it is, I want to know why. Just naturally, you know. I accept facts as facts, but I also want to know the reason why they're facts. Whereas the average person doesn't have that.
You almost
curiosity.
can't accept facts as facts anymore because what's presented as a fact is not a fact.
Well,
So-
I say that. But
I know what you mean,
once I'm satisfied that it's a
Yeah,
fact, once I've actually gone the extra step to determining, is this true?
Yeah.
Then I'll accept it as a fact. You know.
Yeah.
Well, so I was chatting to a friend the other day, and we're talking about like all of this sort of fucking lunacy that we see in the world, and he was like, "Well, just look at the world as like a business. Look at all these situations, and you look at something that seems so hateful or so like lack of empathy for or compassion for humans, and then." If you looked at humans as data and numbers and figures and as for the greater good of a planet and the way a business functions,
That's how Bill Gates looks at it.
I totally think people like that do. I think that people think they're doing when I say people, the people at the top pulling the strings, the people who run, Vanguard Group, BlackRock, and whatnot. I think they look at the globe as a business, and they go, right, okay, potentially, and they might. I'm not making any real assertions, but just saying, like, potentially look at, okay, let's say COVID was what the conspiracy theorists saying, it was a depopulation thing. They might look at it and go, well, we needed more room to free up to get rid of the elderly, so the states weren't paying for their pensions and blah 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 blah. Whatever that sort of stuff would be, they would look at it as a business decision, not as a And then in their minds, they would justify that as empathy for the planet because they're making it better for 6.5 billion if we lose half a billion.
Yeah, you sacrifice the one for the many, pretty much. It's that kind of,
And it doesn't mean that's right. No. That doesn't mean that's good. But if there's
Sounds
people,
all right to me.
it's plausible. It's plausible.
Yeah, and if people think like that, that's how they think. Now you see that with Satanists and stuff like that. For example, their idea is that if they're going to do something, they embed it into and they tell you, and whether or not it's true or real, it doesn't matter. If they believe it's true, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So like it's the same thing with the people who run the world and the financial elite at the top, the fucking top of the top of the top. If they see the world as a business, they don't give a fuck. No. They're like, well, this is the best for the planet.
Another transaction.
We should departed this and fucking try and infiltrate BlackRock. We should get an apprenticeship there. We'll try to work our way up and see if we're right or if they just are just hell good at business.
Do you think that's like when it comes to stuff like, and we're going down a bit of conspiracy stuff now, but like the Freemasons and stuff, what sort of knowledge do you think they have? Because it just goes to a point.
They're probably just like a bikie club that think they're cool, man.
Do you think? Or do you think? Because these people have literally become presidents and fucking the biggest influencers.
Maybe they're hell good at training people.
Maybe, but like
it's like Andrew Tate's fucking college, how to get better at being a human and pull chicks. They just specialize in leading people.
One thing's for sure, they're not fucking stupid. We can tell.
What have you found any conspiracies through your page?
Oh, look,
what's your favorite?
It must be hard because you'd have to try and you're trying to be logical and fact based. So going down that sort of path must be hard for you.
Yeah, look, I mean. Look at what's a conspiracy and what isn't? Is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, is that a conspiracy even anymore? I don't think it is. Like, is the fact that COVID started in a Chinese lab a conspiracy theory?
That was I think confirmed today.
Yeah,
it was confirmed that not only that
China ran experiment.
It was
tests.
bioweapon lab. So they're testing bioweapons. Yeah. So when everyone at the start was to suggest that this was a conspiracy theory, that it's a bioweapon to kill off the population,
it felt like the most logical explanation, didn't it?
It's literally now what's next? COVID. Aliens are taking over the planet.
Maybe they're prepping bioweapons to kill the aliens when they take over.
COVID started, don't you? COVID started with a bat having sex with a pangolin. Did you know that?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah.
That's like Batman and the Penguin.
But if we're seeing, and that starts to make you go, like, you just asked the question, what's a conspiracy theory and what's not now? Because we have now seen probably the top end of the most unbelievable ideas about the COVID lab theory of it being a bioweapon.
Yeah.
Literally all but confirmed that they were working on a bioweapon and it accidentally leaked.
It's the most logical explanation. There's a lab in Wuhan that specializes in that kind of thing.
Yeah. Using gain of function.
It originated there. How hard is that to believe?
And the thing that no one's to explain to me to this day is why did China shut down their domestic travel yet simultaneously keep open their international travel?
That's interesting.
Why? Has there been an explanation for that? If there has, I haven't heard it. What is the official explanation for why they did that? Did they do that?
China are smart, bro. They are the smartest country out of all of us.
And Cam McLaren talks about it all the time when he's on. China don't work on 4-year cycles. They work in dynasties.
Baby.
Yeah. Like, they're like, we don't give a fuck. Like,
fuck Duck Dynasty. We want Peking Duck Dynasty.
What I'm doing now, I don't care if it affects me. Like, I'm planting a tree that I will potentially no longer have shade under when it's big. Yeah. So I have butchered that fucking saying, but you get the premise, you get the idea. So they don't care. They're thinking about the future. Look at Russia's fucking indoctrination of the universities. It's clear to see that that's what they've done.
Yeah, it's because the Americans and the West are so fucking arrogant that we think we're the greatest, and we think in such short term, self-serving. We don't think, like you said, no one cares about their country anymore.
What if we're indoctrinated?
Probably
just as an idea.
Probably are. We wouldn't know if we were, would we?
No,
we would be asking logical questions, and the sources of information would be allowed to us by the people that are trying to indoctrinate us. So that would keep us in our bubble.
But then does the fact that we're actually questioning our own indoctrination then probably still lend a bit of credibility to the fact that maybe we can figure out whether we are being indoctrinated?
I think the indoctrination comes from the lack of curiosity, the lack of actually wanting another perspective. Like, you can... It's fine to be on the left, and like everyone's like on the left with something, or on the libertarian. Like you're not, like I'm not a libertarian, but there's certain issues that everyone, the most staunch statist would be libertarian on something that they think that the government should stay out of. But it's just the lack of wanting to understand opposing perspectives is a sign of indoctrination. If you just want to block everything out and maintain that your worldview is the one and only path, then
because it crumbles your world and your ideas of safety and where you feel safe and comfortable, and all of a sudden the world isn't as it seems.
And it probably would force you to ask questions of yourself, which isn't very comfortable. Not a very comfortable thing to be doing.
Definitely.
That's what the Q stands for in LGBTQ.
Well, I think
question ourselves.
I think the rise of Q, pardon the pun, QAnon. I think the rise of QAnon is just a reflection of where the world's at.
Well, they got fucking... I'm off them only because of the stuff you used to share with me about Trump and the person that was like, the big guy, like, or whatever they're saying was, he's going to do this, and this.
Yeah.
Trust the plan. Trust the plan.
Yeah, it never came to fruition.
So
it was like they were acting that they knew something.
There's a couple of things that I
lost all faith.
I look at, and they said the storm's coming.
Stormy Daniels. That's what it was.
Well,
it was Trump coming, but still.
I would just look at the world right now.
That's not a hard prediction to make, is it?
Well, when Trump was in power, it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. And if you actually just removed yourself from your blind hatred of the man.
He had peace in the Middle East.
And I understand blind hatred. I understand blind hatred. I had the same for Dan Andrews.
Yeah.
I understand it. But I would argue that Trump actually had some positives to contribute to while he was in power. You ask me, do I sound like a bit of a hypocrite? Every time Dan Andrews is mentioned, I get this reaction. But I would argue that he contributed nothing positive. Like what is his legacy other than...
COVID positive.
Yeah, COVID positive and accumulating $200 million worth of debt that will never be paid off in my lifetime. So that's where the nuance comes into it. So, but I understand the visceral hatred of the man, but I don't understand how you can't...
judge a man by his actions.
Yeah.
Peace in the Middle East. He got nearer to Korea.
Yeah.
Near to Korea.
So we have seen...
First president in there.
This has been the most fucking
economy.
hectic 4 years in history.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's a storm, for a lack of a better word. Now, I'm not suggesting QAnon conspiracies were true. I think people reading into QAnon conspiracies and then using it in their own way and trying to understand it their own way and then spreading that information, that's where all the confusion came in. Also, just prior to the election, they did say, QAnon did say, sometimes you have to show people. And like... we are seeing just how fucked up it is. Now, I'm not saying that all the QAnon stuff is real and true, but just those two things. The storm is coming. We have seen the biggest fucking shitstorm of the last 4 years that I dare say ever in history.
You can hear the president say it in his own words. He said, well, if the storm is coming, the cat is in the curtains with the TV switched on. And the people who don't know we're Hugh Jackman.
And and that last QAnon one where sometimes you have to show the people for them to understand. Well, fuck, I think we've seen it for the last 4 years.
For America to voluntarily vote Biden back in would just suggest they are the stupidest fucking country on the planet.
That's a great point. And here's the thing that Australians and Americans are very similar in a lot of ways, but in some ways we couldn't be more different. So I'll give you an example. We all know John Fetterman, right? That
I don't know.
That Senator John, the bald guy who wears the hoodies,
had a stroke.
Had a stroke.
Yeah.
And he couldn't talk.
He can't string two sentences together.
Yeah.
He goes on this debate, right? The week before the election for him to be a senator for Pennsylvania.
Hi, mate.
And they start off, the very first thing he says is, "Good night, everybody."
Yeah.
Like
he's finished.
And so
I'm John Fetterman. Good night, everybody.
And it was just a train wreck of a debate. It was against Dr. Oz, that TV doctor, Mehmet Oz. So he's fucking nothing special, but at least he's coherent and he could. So after that debate where he completely went down in a ball of flames, they still voted for him. So the difference is if that happened here, if we had a candidate like that here who publicly embarrassed himself, there is no way the Australian public would vote him in. I don't get that. So I love so much about Americans. I love the fact that they've still got the imperial system. That's the thing that I love the most about feet, inches, yard. What the fuck is a kilometre? But there's some things that I'll just never understand about.
So ironic that a stroke victim's debating a doctor.
Not, and do you know what?
And he lost.
I can't remember like his policies and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. I can't remember that stuff. It seems like when he was together, he seemed to say some sensible things from what I could see.
Highly on the meds. And
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
was the stroke from the jab or
but
was
the
it
fact
just
that
stroke?
I don't know what the stroke was caused by, but
sure.
but regardless, he had a stroke, and you have to go. Why are we putting?
Yeah.
Why are we voting for someone who can't talk?
The fact that they even put him up as the candidate shows you the contempt that they hold the voters in. That they
100%.
could not find somebody who
Or his family.
Yeah.
Like, what care to the
Just
family?
have an actor. Let's pay an actor.
What does Jill Biden? Why would she push her to say she wants her husband to be president again? It's clearly killing him.
It's elder abuse.
He's
elder abuse.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not funny. No. Like it's sad. We are
Well,
watching.
it is, but
we are watching someone suffer dementia at the highest.
He'll be 86 at the end of his next term theoretically. 80 fucking 6.
Did you see MSNBC try to say? Oh, should we be concerned that Trump's running again? He's shuffling around. He looks lost on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
President for the last 4 years.
Have you?
The bloke, he's dyslexic when he speaks. That's never been done before.
I don't know where he gets his energy from. He's 76. He goes on his plane to do rallies after like
Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah.
I'd be fried. Like I'm in my 40s, and like I like what he does. And you compare that to Biden and even Hillary Clinton. Where remember that footage when she was running, they threw her in the back of a van like a fucking slab of meat.
Yeah.
She was like stumbling, they just chucked her in the back of the remember that?
I thought that, I think I saw it on either a reel or a meme where it was like, why do we make people that are over 65 retire or say that they're a blight on the workforce and they can't work anymore and it's hard to employ them?
And then make them run the fucking world.
Yeah. The two leaders of their country are over 75.
Yeah.
But I guess the funny, so like with Trump, apparently these are rumors, and so he drinks more. Is it Diet Coke? Diet Coke than water. Like he has like something like 50.
Maybe that's why he's so orange.
Like loves Maccas.
He has 50. Eats like shit.
Yeah.
But he's never drank in his life.
Yeah.
Never had a drug.
Yeah.
And
loser.
Yeah. And and what I've liked recently, I found this by listening to Mac Attack. Is it Mac Attack? The Asian guy who went viral on social media.
The guy that does the two cameras.
Yeah. Yep. Mac Attack, I think it is.
Okay.
Very good stuff. And he just says what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
And he was having an interview with Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. And the thing that they said that they got the most out of their father was he looked after them because they had money. But he made them get in the workforce. He made them go to these jobs, the construction sites, and work on the construction sites to earn their money and to learn what it's happening on the inside.
Yeah.
And he showed a lot of love and compassion.
Yeah.
But really made them earn it and earn resilience, which was very interesting. You'd think if you were rich and powerful and famous, you'd be going, no, I'm just going to shower my kid in gifts. But he sort of made them earn
like
it.
Joe Biden, and see how that went for Hunter.
But the other interesting thing is about Trump. Yeah, you'd think like he's a billionaire, he's a New York property tycoon. How would someone like that resonate with the working class, like the blue collar coal miner from West Virginia, just who absolutely idolizes him? And I think, I think that tells you that Trump's genuine because people like that, like those blue collar workers, they can smell a fucking fraud a mile away.
Correct.
So for them for a figure like Trump to resonate with that demographic, I think speaks volumes of
because he's authentic.
He's authentic.
He's
Think what you like.
unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
And he says what people are thinking.
Correct.
Yeah, when he said that thing about
the tax.
The tax.
I use
Yeah.
it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
do all
used
your
it-
friends, Hillary.
Yeah, they all use it, and they're not going to change it. So why wouldn't I use it?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's very endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to flip back to your page. What is the trashiest thing that you remember posting?
Oh yeah.
What's the most
well, we're
human
talking-
garbage thing?
we're-
There's been so many.
We're
but
talking 5 years. It's just hard to sort of nail it
Have
down.
you got a top three
Nail it
All-Stars?
down to one. Look, I think the most not trashiest. Let me phrase it this way. The darkest thing, the darkest type of content that I would post.
George Floyd. No.
Watch yourself. No, it was like when you have a young white. There was this case of a young white girl in her 20s
Yep.
who was posting pro Black Lives Matter stuff on her social media pages like Black Square, remember George Floyd, remember Breonna Taylor, whoever it was.
Yeah.
There's a news article about her, how she was decapitated by a black boyfriend. Yeah, and so that's when the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme starts playing in the background.
Yeah.
I get no pleasure out of posting that. Believe me, it's awful. Like but
It's just one of those ironic.
ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of it's just the virtue signaling gets you to a certain point.
Yeah.
but it doesn't protect you from reality.
Yeah.
It doesn't protect you from being a statistic.
Yeah.
Was it you who posted recently the journalist for Djokovic?
Yes, that was
Yeah, I
me.
sent
Maybe
that
that's
to
what
you
got
a
me
while
banned. Maybe they didn't like that. I don't
Because
know.
is it implied he didn't officially die from a jab?
No, that's
the
you
implications-
draw your own
Yeah.
conclusions. So
Well, as soon as I saw he died, before I saw you post it, I sent it to you 3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 athletes have died. So for people that don't know, do you want to explain what happened?
yeah, so this journalist, a tennis journalist, I'd never heard of him. Mike, was it Mike?
Christensen or something like
Yeah,
that.
some Harris. Anyway, he's a renowned tennis journalist. A couple of years ago, when all the Djokovic controversy was going on about the jab, he said, "Well, Djokovic should get the vaccine, otherwise, to make sure he can play all these tournaments and become the GOAT, the greatest of all time." And so obviously, as we know, Djokovic refused. He stood up for his principles and his beliefs, and he sacrificed playing in a lot of tournaments for 12, 18 months because he couldn't get into America for 18 months for a start.
Yeah.
We kicked him out, which is still a fucking national disgrace.
Yeah.
Should have gone through the fucking border wall.
I want to talk about that in a second if we've got time. But and so this journalist, this last week covering the Australian Open, collapsed and dropped dead, and Djokovic paid tribute to him. So it's kind of this kind of full circle of irony.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just this whole and while we're on Djokovic, like what really strikes me about that whole saga from a couple of years ago
It's deplorable.
was the cultural cringe that exists in this country, that people want to, instead of siding with a bloke who is standing up for what he believes in, they will just join the mob, the government, and just attack this guy. It's like if the government says, all right, we want to tackle global warming, climate change, we're stopping we can't drive your cars anymore. That's it. No more cars. You got to fucking go on the tram or walk or ride your bicycle or whatever.
Not too far off.
Yeah, and if a guy gets an exemption from overseas, this big time rich sort of tycoon gets an exemption to come to Australia and to drive his car, Australians would be more angry at that bloke who's coming here than they are at the government who stopped them from driving their cars.
Yeah, and Daniel Ricciardo would be like, "It's my job."
Yeah, that is why I love being an Aussie, but this is what fucking shits me about our culture is that.
Yeah.
Is it tall poppy? I don't know.
It's sucking off the government syndrome.
Yeah, because we've had such a charmed life in this country for years, decades, that we've had no reason to distrust our government for anything.
I wonder if it was Roger Federer, if there would have been the same sentiment.
Probably not as hostile. There'd probably be a little bit more understanding.
Because Djokovic is a dividing figure. And
he was already quite.
He's an Eastern European with a vicious backhand, right? Where have I heard that one before?
That's the Corey one.
Yeah. And so
people don't like him on the circuit as it is, just as a person. He's meant to be a fucking full on Can't, but we want you on the pod, bud. So
But,
if you are listening-
but do you get what I mean? Like it's this
Yeah.
high, that, and I think it's
especially the Aussie mentality, like look after your mate, fucking stick up for yourself.
Yes.
That definitely
And that
shook
really
me.
disappointed me. That really disappointed me how everyone just jumped on, like sided with the government, a Liberal government, mind you.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense why they were angry at him and not the government that
crazy.
made the decisions.
That made the decisions, yeah.
Well, I think, but they flip it and they turned it to him knowing he had COVID and then he went somewhere. That's where they were like, this guy, he did
But the
this.
official line was Alex Hawke, who was the minister at the time. He said that that we want to chuck him out on the basis that he might inspire anti-vax sentiment.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What a contrived piece of fucking bullshit that was. It's
Yeah.
not the fact that he wasn't vaccinated. What is he going to come out here and start getting on the megaphone and say, Aussies, hear me, don't get the vaccine?
No, it's like, oh, you can come to our country if you're not vaccinated. And
Yeah.
people will go, oh. It's like, I had a lot of friends go, I only got it so I can travel in the future. And I
Yeah.
went, I'm not vaccinated and I just went through Europe, bro. Like, I'm going to Thailand in a month. Like, did you not know I can travel with it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but people didn't know that.
yeah, well, they assumed.
they assumed,
They're just, this was, it was the same with pubs. Like, if you see it going, well, they're going to take it away, it was just to get it done.
Yeah.
You can see it. Like, they can't stop people from doing it. Otherwise, they lose all the money, basically.
Yeah.
So it just...
So from your Garbage Human page, have you managed to monetize it? Because you've got the YouTube channel. Does that work?
Well, I've stopped using YouTube.
Really?
Yeah,
'Cause you
because
kept
my
banned again?
video's been like
Really?
on YouTube. They'd be on for 15 minutes, and I haven't used YouTube for almost over a year now.
You on Rumble?
Crazy.
Not even Rumble. Rumble, I didn't sort of get the views for some reason. I'm on this platform called Locals now, so I've monetized my weekly compilation videos that I do that you may have seen me. I post little snippets of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a dedicated couple of hundred subscribers there, and
Truth Social next?
No, Truth. It's not available. It's only available in America, but. Ironically, it's talk about things that have come full circle. I'm back on Twitter now, which was my original, because I've been kicked off Facebook, I've been kicked off Instagram, which is the other two major platforms, and now I got my one of my original Twitter accounts
Praise
back.
Lord Elon.
Yeah, and so that's the only kind of platform I have now, because I'm not going to go back on Instagram. Sorry, guys, for anyone that's watching who is a fan of listening to the podcast who's a fan of the page. I'm not going to bother coming, because I'm obviously on some sort of blacklist where once they find me, they'll just so it's just not worth it. So I'll just stay
whitelist.
so I'll just stay on Twitter now.
Twitter, I think you're safest on Twitter, right?
At the moment it is, and that's why I said it's ironic, because I was just banned constantly on Twitter, and now I'm back there and it's looking like a safe haven for me. So
is it one of these things, because you're a dad?
Yeah, dad of 3.
So what? Like, two things to ask there is, like, I'm assuming you want your kids to be growing up in a future that's not completely censored and fucking
Absolutely.
and controlled by.
I want them
by
to
the
think for
state.
themselves. I want them to, it's fine taking information. They're obviously going through school, and later on in life they might go to university or something like that. I want them to be able to think for themselves and come to whatever conclusions that you're going to come to, but just don't take things as gospel that don't necessarily ring true. I will always encourage them to question things, whether just be comfortable in your own mind that what you're being told is correct, and more often than not they probably will be. But just have that within you to not accept everything you're told all of the time, and I think that's a good thing.
Well, unless you're saying you're going to bed now because I said so.
while they're 8, 6, and 3, then they're
And
Why, Dad?
And one thing, and I can definitely empathise with this, is I don't know how often you put your face out there.
not often. No.
It's going to be out there now, I guess. But with me and this platform, I tend to get worried for my daughter.
Yeah.
And like what people are going to think of my daughter potentially, especially at schools. It's always just that one slight underlying fear, because it's not just me. I'll cop whatever.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I've had the odd death threat DM to me. So, and I haven't even told my family about that, because you heard it first on the Hard Yarns podcast. Look, it only takes one. These people obviously are insincere, but it only takes one out of however many you might get that is,
Bit gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's all it is. So yeah, it's always in the back of your mind if you've got kids. Like,
Well, and you have to consider that sort of stuff because, like, if they're so crazy to believe what we were just talking about, like questioning objective reality, what's to say they're not crazy enough to just stab you or something like that?
It's
For
very
their belief
difficult to
system.
get. What is the way? Because you can't change someone's mind. Like, no matter what you do, if you sit down and you have an argument, you'll never change their mind. What is the way? How do you do it? What's the way forward? Is there a way, or do you just say, "Hey, that's what you believe"?
That's what you believe. And look, I'm the only one in my circle of friends and family who believes what they believe. Like, and that's come about. I never used to be this way. Like a decade ago, I was not into politics. I was not into any of this. Like nothing. And
But we've been forced. I think we've been forced to because
certainly in my case, it was. Yeah,
it's rammed down our throats. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're expected to just swallow it up and believe it and just jump on board with something. And if it doesn't sit right with you,
and I came to the realization just through observing things that I'm socially very conservative. Like I never stopped to think about it very much, but I don't like a lot of the things that has been normalized and mainstreamed right now. I just don't like it. It just doesn't sit well with me. I don't want my kids to be exposed to it. I'll sort of go to whatever lengths I can, to make sure that they don't get any of that from me. I don't know about external influences. I can't control everything, or I won't be able to every minute of every day. But I can sort of be there to offer that balance and sort of so. I'm not. And it sort of came about through this. It actually coincided with when my first child, my eldest son, was born. I sort of think, well, I've got a new perspective on life. I've got a new meaning to life. Like when it changes your life to have kids, you can attribute to that. And so you all of a sudden you're not the most important person in your life anymore.
That's why I'm not having kids, baby.
It's such a life changer.
It is.
You become not the priority.
No,
you become more. You become a.
You guys are selling it to me.
You become an active service. You become an active service for someone else.
Yeah, correct. And you just do everything that's within your power to protect them from what you see is wrong or evil or anything like that. So, that's how I'm going about it. But am I going to be 100% successful 100% of the time? Of course not. Yeah. But all I can do is just be that voice down the track. They'll make their own decisions, but I'll make it fully known my viewpoint about the whole thing.
It's also
Trump's lost a little bit of credit in my book because his Truth Social is just in America. Yeah, that's not just the truth. That's an echo chamber now. Trump needs to open it up to the world for it to be truth.
I genuinely think that the conversations that we're having and stuff are.
We're changing the world, baby.
I think they're good to have, but they're like my daughter's going to listen to these one day, and if she sees me at home doing what I'm doing, and I'm preaching one thing on here and living another life at home, she'll see that and see the inauthenticness of it. Yeah. So I am trying my best to live what I preach, and it's stuff like standing strong with the vaccination and trying those sorts of things. If I was to preach it, I need to.
I'm going to live my truth.
Yeah, well, it is one of those things, and it is about setting the example for my daughter. That's all I'm trying to do, and trying to be authentic and understanding that I make mistakes and she will make mistakes and whatnot. But yeah, if you're going to preach something, you got to fucking live it. And
just
it's
follow
hard.
through with what you say, man. That's my biggest thing in life. You say you're going to do something, or you say something.
My biggest problem is
show up for yourself.
My biggest problem is that I have. If I follow through or articulate what I believe, then I'll just get these looks from people, these bewildering looks, and well, hang on, this is not what you're supposed to. This is not what the average person thinks, and it isn't, because we're not the average person. We're a very small minority. Not. In the sense that we ask questions and we want to find things out, which unfortunately isn't across the board. It's not.
The silent majority is a very fascinating phenomenon for me, because you feel like people don't think like you do, but there's actually, the truth is, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, and people will say, oh yeah, I agree, not to hurt that person who's vocalising feelings.
Yes.
And the reality is, the other 6 people in the room are going, shut the fuck up now.
I really hope that's true.
I think it is true.
From what I'm seeing now, people coming up to us, or like friends that I've had for fucking 20 or 30 years come up quietly in the back corner and go, yeah, I'll think about that as well. And you're like, fuck, man, if you think like that, what about that guy over there who has, I thought, similar mindset to you? Like,
I've got a prominent Australian music artist who follows my page, or followed, past tense, my Instagram page from a burner account because he can't afford to have my account in his list of followers.
Now, I look at sometimes like maybe who's liking your post, and I might see
Kelly Slater, Donald Trump Jr.,
these sorts of people like
Joe Rogan,
liking your post. But so those people are so blatantly like they don't care.
They're uncancelable.
But
like, you know,
I look at some AFL players,
Yeah.
and I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
Like, do they realise that anyone can see
yeah.
that they've liked that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
But who cares? It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't, but it does,
Yeah.
especially when like an AFL team has sponsors and whatnot, and you're like, So
they got sponsors, but do they have great sponsors like alltradescover.com.au? I don't
What, that one behind our guest over there?
Did I mention to you how much I love golf?
Especially Kahuna work golf wear.
Oh fuck, that's decent.
I've missed my physio, but I've got another appointment that I can't miss.
Okay,
So,
we'll
wind it up.
closing sentiments.
What's what you got? Anything to plug now? I guess not much.
No. Follow me on Twitter, GarbageHuman23. You won't
It's
find me
23 because of LeBron and
23
Michael
because
Jordan?
of
Or is it the 23rd account?
23rd account, and it was 2023 when I got it back, so it made sense.
That's nice.
And Michael Jordan's 23 is the GOAT, so
the GOAT account.
Yeah, so that's the only platform you'll find me on now, and
So it's not racist because you got Jordan who's black, LeBron James who's black, and Buddy Franklin who's Indigenous.
Let's go with that.
All number 23.
Let's go with that.
And Shane Warne, who died of the jab. Oh, did I say that?
Was he 23?
Number 23.
On his cricket
didn't know that.
uniform.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, he
So,
wasn't
no.
23.
I meant his number.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything to plug, but it's a shame because this podcast, I would have pumped it out to my my following on Instagram.
Yeah.
So they must have envisaged.
They figured it out.
They got it in for you. Watch it. You guys are next.
AI,
You guys are next.
AI knows. It predicts things. Kurt Morgan, past guest, he sent to me what AI can predict because it doesn't even know your data. It can predict from your mouse movements 80% of the time what your political thing is, what your gender is. And it said that AI can predict that you're homosexual before you know it. I was like, I reckon I could predict it. Judge off your fucking internet search history. If it's like big black cocks, guy on guy, I reckon you might have an inkling for being a little bit homosexual.
That's scary, actually.
Yeah. What, black on black
No,
cocks?
the fact that AI can predict that.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Gay eye, they call it.
I'm thinking we're going to get onto Twitter. Well, we've started our Twitter page, so I'm going to start posting on Twitter.
All of these clips, you can you collaborate on Twitter, or do you just post and tag?
You can tag, and it's Twitter's good in the fact that you can more easily share content and you can gain followers. It's a lot easier to gain a following on Twitter. That Instagram's a hard grind unless you get like other accounts helping you out, like what I was fortunate enough to have.
I'm stuck on 8,500 for the last fucking 5 months.
Yeah,
we've really.
I got to 150K like middle of last year, and that's where I started. I think I shadow banned after that. It's virtually impossible to. But now I'm zero. So
Well, I think like this could be great for the pod or horrific for the pod, depending on.
I was going to say it's
because you'll get a lot of haters that will come to that pod and then maybe watch the whole YouTube and then clip it out of context.
Fucking do it. Make us big.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
But it's just this is probably the first episode where I go, wow, like if they're shutting down your Instagram, like we have to be careful. Like
I do is post screenshots. Honestly, they're readily available anywhere else. Like they get sent to me, or I find them, and they've been posted somewhere else before. I'm not the first one.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and so
it's already on news.com, but because you put it on your thing,
that's the thing I've never understood. So just be careful. And when I say be careful, you want to stay on the platform. My number one thing is I don't obsess about how many followers I've got. My number one issue is not being able to maintain a presence on a platform. The followers will come, whether it's slowly or quickly. They will come if you've got interesting stuff to say and put out there. They'll come.
Well,
but it's just staying on the platform that's been my issue for years, for almost 10 years now.
Well, the good thing is Spotify doesn't censor. as well, which
That's
is great.
great. Yeah.
That's very good. I mean, I'm sure if I said I'm going to kill someone or something like that, that potentially would be grounds for taking an episode down or something like that. But as far as opinions and whatnot, we can say what we want. So that's really good. So we've got that platform. But yeah, it's just one of those things where like our Instagram is building. It's built actually quite a lot. I think we got 1,000 followers in the first month of the year, first 2.5 weeks of the year. So that's really good. I think we've got another 10,000 on TikTok. So
and if you've listened this far in, shout out to you, because people go, we listen to your podcast. No, you don't. You watch our clips.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who just
So
watch
if you're
our
an
clips.
actual listener, thank you, man.
We had that chat with Lewis Spears, and I was talking to him on the way home, and he was saying that even Hamish and Andy, who's the biggest podcast in Australia, has started to notice that people don't listen to their full episode. They watch the clips and talk to them about the clips. So it's just that's what it is. And maybe if you like the clips, you like the clips. But
if you're a listener, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, because it will help us out. Like if you actually
Subscribe
are
on
not
what?
subscribing on Spotify, on iTunes,
follow on
anything,
Spotify.
just follow, subscribe, like just so we get those numbers and we can actually
even
show
like
them.
on YouTube, if you like it, if you follow, if you leave a comment, it helps. Shout out to Kit Adams, who comments on every single one of our episodes on purpose.
Keep it together. Kit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, sick. Fuck. Awesome episode. First time I've been actually genuinely worried about being cancelled. And we've had Corey White on a few times.
I'll wear that as a badge of honour.
This will go out tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, come and check out The Confessional, please. And Date Night Comedy. It's fucking fun. I did sesh stories for the first time last night. And oh my God, I definitely have to work through the show.
but it's good. It's got legs.
It's definitely got legs. Andrew Hamilton did a set. It was fucking hilarious, man.
Sick.
He was so fucking funny.
Awesome.
But I did, my opener, I had Andrew. Legacy was late, but he jumped up.
Oh, sick.
And then last minute ADHD ideas. I went through my phone and found like stuff from the sesh or news articles. That's going to be good, kind of like teacher night.
Yeah.
But I think I had 15 in the audience. And my big part of the show is tell me your sesh story. Only 2 stories in, man. So if I get that as a repeat, and then one of the stories was the chick said that she went to a karaoke. She was a karaoke bar hooker.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And then she wanted to tell the story. So the number one rule, we never give the microphone, but she just stood up and started going, yeah, my mum wanted me to get a job, and it was a karaoke bar, and it was to be a hooker, and mum was like, go in, and we had to stand there. I'm like going, okay, that's fine, like trying to protect her.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine, like you don't have to do anymore. And then everyone's like, no. And she's basically going on about how she started to become a hooker, but luckily at the very end, the police raided and but she should have started I'm shitting myself going, this girl is having a counselling session about the time she became a hooker, but she should have framed it with almost became a hooker at the karaoke bar. So I'm fucking going, nah, that's fine. 30 seconds left, 10 seconds, absolutely shitting myself. So definitely learnt some stuff. And I'm going to change the question from like funniest sesh story to what's the wildest thing you did on a sesh. Yeah. And then that way it's more like a confession based or like a story.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so check that out, Sesh Stories. But 27th, I'm going to be probably either still awake or extremely... I won't be hungover because I'll have vibe culture. So 6 o'clock, Who's Rhyme, 7:15 date night, 9:30 confessional, and 8:30 33 years single. And ticket sales have been fucking horrific this year. So please, even if you're not coming, share my shit and my shows and tell your friends to come to them because they are the best shows at Fringe by far.
I am on tonight with Corey.
Oh, how did quiz go last night?
Incredible.
Fuck yeah.
It's fucking huge. Biggest crowd that we've ever had.
Really?
It was like, there would have been 60 or 70, like whatever. You couldn't fit any more. Like it was every single seat.
I forgot to put in my show, to plug my show.
I plugged it anyway. It's okay, buddy. I got your back.
I need to get an invite to some of these things.
Come on in.
Right.
Just let us know and I'll chuck on the door.
But fuck, great show last night actually. But I'm opening. I don't know if I'm opening for Corey or if he's put together some showcase. I didn't ask. He just said, "You want a spot 6 o'clock on Thursday?" Terrarium. Where is
Terrarium.
it? Terrarium.
So it's like an underground basement bar similar to Stables. Apparently, it's good.
So I'm there tonight, 6 o'clock, and I think I'm there on Saturday at 6 o'clock as well. So
if you're still in town at 9:30, we're doing confessional tonight at 10.
Okay, and me and Corey are going to be doing some Vox Pops through the
Oh,
streets.
fuck yeah, sick.
So a bit of fringe. We might even go into Pleasure Garden if we're allowed to.
Oh, that's if he doesn't get kicked out.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah.
I had an idea as well now that you say that with Vox Pops.
Yeah.
I think that for content, me and you, we should come up with a question and we predict what the result is going to be when we ask 20 people.
Ooh.
What percentage would agree or disagree.
Oh, that's kind of like Family Feud type.
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Survey says.
Survey says.
Yeah,
rough,
okay.
rough.
Great answer. Great answer.
Yeah,
good answer.
good. Yeah,
I think
okay, cool.
that could be interesting.
Okay.
Because like that, we could literally survey the silent majority and go, do you think most people think
I like it.
that, gun
Find
crime
out
is
what-
committed by...
Find out what they really think.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, join the Patreon. Join just any way you can support us.
Yeah. You would have heard it at the
share. Because
Yeah, share,
I got
share.
the analytics.
Analytics.
For the podcast. And last year we had a lot of people share through WhatsApp and Telegram.
Really? Oh, that's sus. We'll be cancelled ASAP.
So people are sharing it, sending episodes and stuff. So that's sick.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Rude.